The moments are etched in our memory. Bear Bryant and the Crimson Tide, national titles, and New Year's Day. The Bears' legacy lives on. 30 years ago, he had two assistants as different as fire and ice, Howard Schnellenberger and Gene Stallings. In 1965, they went their separate ways. The prodigal son, Gene Stallings, beat the Bear on New Year's Day, 1968. The Bear was proud in defeat. 7 years at Texas A&M, Stallings spent 18 in the NFL, 25 years away from Alabama. This year, he came back to Tuscaloosa to resurrect the tradition, to pick up the Bears' mantle. Howard Schnellenberger never looked back. He left the Bear for the NFL, but found glory at the University of Miami. He took a program from obscurity to a national title one New Year's Day. At the pinnacle, he quit for a pro job that never happened. Quietly, he went home to Kentucky, and for the past 5 years has tried to work his magic in a place called Louisville. Stallings' rookie season began ominously. Saddled with a team he did not recruit, he lost the first 3, the first Bama coach to do so in 35 years. But Stallings engineered a miracle. He won 7 of the last 8, capping the season with the greatest prize of all, victory over Auburn. So after 5 years, what's Schnellenberger saying in 1991? At 9-1-1, the Cardinals are living a dream. Out with the old, in with the new. These guys want admission to the big time.
Cinderella comes to each institution, each program one time, and it can never be reproduced or recreated. This club, these kids, are dressing her up, helping her get her makeup on, and trying to get her there.
Alabama was a state in transition in the 60s. Glory on the gridiron, a crusade in the streets, a cry for equality. Martin Luther King's spirit has taken hold of this year's Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl, and many have dedicated the game to his memory. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the 20th Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl, Louisville and Alabama. Around the country, you may be cross-country skiing, but here in Tempe, the temperature is 66 degrees, just a bit of a breeze, and the forecast is sunny. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Todd Christensen, and this year, as almost everybody knows, the Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl has been surrounded in controversy.
Charlie, the operative word for this game today is a dream. Everyone's very familiar with Martin Luther King's dream, but there are a number of athletes today on the respective universities of both Louisville and Alabama that also have a dream, and that is to play in a bowl game of this magnitude. And I do not believe that the contest here today diminishes Mr. King's dream one iota.
The dream of Louisville. They are the young kids on the block, the new kids on the block. They're the underdogs. Can they pull it off?
Well, you know, everybody talks about the fact that maybe their 9-1-1 record is tarnished. But, you know, Charlie, I've been around football a long time, and there's something called emotion that plays a very large part in this game. And I think it's definitely on Louisville's side.
What about Alabama?
Well, Alabama's struggled this year offensively. They've had some problems. They lost their best player in Saran Stacy, but their defense, number 3 ranked in the nation, has carried them to this point so far.
Should be a good one. Let's go down to the sideline, and here is Tom Hammond. Tom?
Charlie, the decision to play or not play in this game was most personal for the members of each squad. For Louisville, it was a special case. Given the opportunity to play in the school's first ever New Year's Day Bowl on national television for the first time, the players thought it was too good an opportunity to pass up. More than one Cardinal said to me, Dr. King had a dream, but we had a dream too. They meant no disrespect. In fact, during the game today, that dream lives on theme will carry over to the jerseys with this special patch. They'll have patches on their helmets as well. For Alabama, it was a different sort of decision. This is a school that goes to a bowl game virtually every year. Today's the 43rd appearance. Big games are nothing new for Bama players, so perhaps it was a more difficult decision. Saran Stacy was a preseason All-American running back selection, injured in the first game, out for the rest of the year. But Saran, maybe you can tell us about the decision the Bama players reached to play today.
Well, we just sat among each other and we talked about it, and you know, we're a team, so we decided to stick together on the whole situation. We were very sensitive to the Martin Luther King issue, and we felt like, you know, we showed, you know, our feelings about it. I mean, we dedicated a normal size picture to the bowl committee, and today you'll see a lot of players dressed in black and with the MLK sign. So we, you know, we feel like we've done all we can, and we represent our university well.
Okay, thank you very much. Now for the situation outside the stadium, let's go to Gail Gardner. Gail?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Outside the stadium, a petition drive has been going on to try to create a holiday for Martin Luther King, a paid state holiday. And joining with me is Reverend Warren Stewart, who is the head of Victory Together, a committee that is trying to make this happen. What are you hoping to accomplish today?
We want to get several signatures so that the state legislature can allow the people of Arizona to vote on the Martin Luther King Jr. Civil Rights Bill based on the federal model. We were not allowed to do that in November, and we believe that the majority of Arizonans will pass the holiday if it's the federal model, and we want the legislature to allow us to do that.
So these petitions will go to the legislature?
These petitions will go directly to the Arizona State Legislature, the 40th session that is coming in January 14th.
Okay, Reverend Stewart, thank you so much. Let's go back to Charlie and Todd.
All right, Gail, back here in the stadium, Alabama won the toss. They have deferred their decision until the second half. And Alabama is going to receive. So Louisville with the decision, interestingly enough, they elect to kick off.
Well, right from the get-go, we're going to see the real Browning-Nagel if he can attack a defense of this magnitude. You know, Charlie, one of the operative words that you had earlier in the week was crusade. I have no doubt that that's a word that applies to Louisville today. After having been absent from bowl competition for 13 years, Coach Schnellenberger has made his team very much aware of the fact that this is crucial to the success of their program.
What is the pressure that these young men feel right now?
Well, I think in the case of Alabama, you know, they have a tradition. You know, we're talking about 42 bowl games. I mean, more than any other major college. They're trying to maintain a tradition, while on the other side of the football, you have a team that's trying to establish one.
What did you feel like at this moment before you played in the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl? You did.
You looked that up, you
yes,
son of a gun.
did. Yes.
Yeah, I played 1974. I was a freshman at the time. I was only 12. But, you know, it was exciting to me because, of course, I was in a very similar situation with Louisville. Brigham Young had never been to a major bowl game. Here we are, all excited. We had an All-American quarterback in Jerry Scheide. We were just thrilled to be there. But unfortunately, being thrilled to be there was not enough. We lost by 10 points. So that's something that Louisville has to be cognizant of. It's not just enough to be here.
And if you don't think that the Louisville Cardinals are not keyed up, Ron Bell will be kicking off, and as he started on the field just a moment ago, he started to the wrong end of the field. His teammates were waving. He said, "We're going to be the other way. We're going to be the other way."
You know, Charlie, it's exciting just to be out here. I'm thrilled to be around two organizations that very much are happy to be a part of this. You know, this took a lot of controversy, but you know what has happened now? There have been no protests outside the stadium, no major demonstrations. I think the people have come to the realization this is what this is about. This is a football game, not politics, and we're out here to have some fun, as well as hopefully continue on the tradition of these two great universities.
All right, let me correct myself that Alabama deferred to the second half, and so Louisville will be receiving, and that means that Philip Doyle will be kicking off, the consensus All-America. And Ron Bell is on the return team. Number 33, Terrell Ware, and number 37, Joey Smith. And it will be Smith who will drop back as the return man. That is now a final in the Hall of Fame Bowl. Clemson 30 and Illinois nothing, as we are ready now in Tempe, Arizona with the 20th Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl. And Smith takes it a yard deep. To the 15, cuts back at the 20, has an opening out to the 30-yard line. 31 yards on the return. Lorenzo Ward with the stop. Louisville's offense. The quarterback is Browning Nagel. Bynum and Dawkins the running backs. Rom, Jones, and McKay are the receivers. An offensive line of Jerry Kraft, Kevin Blumeyer, Jerry Figg, Scott McAllister, and Pete Berkey. Expect for Louisville to come out throwing, and they do. Nagel has the time, and he is going to scramble, not known for his scrambling ability, and then he completes the pass to Ken McKay. And he has it near the 50-yard line. And the Alabama defense, George Thornton, Robert Stewart, Byron Holbrook, Steve Webb, John Sullins, Derek Odom, and Antonio London, the front seven. In the secondary, George Teague, Mark McMillan, Ephraim Thomas, and Stacy Harrison. And in addition, Alabama will have 7 men in the secondary at times trying to cut off the passing attack of Louisville. A gain of 20 yards on the opening play. Play action fake again. And this time the pressure from the front three is too much, and this is the confrontation. There are many in college football that say, this time Robert Stewart who got him, that Thornton, Stewart, and Holbrook's the best front three in college football.
Well, that's one of the reasons that Alabama can afford itself those 7 defensive backs, because they feel that those front three can put the pressure on Nagel. Here you see right there, there's no place to go. He collides with his lineman, and the play is made there by number 34.
And it will be 2nd down and 17.
A strange number for a nose guard.
Yes, it is. To Dawkins, and Dawkins goes to the 46-yard line of Alabama.
One of the weaknesses, of course, the 7 defensive backs is that you don't necessarily have somebody in the middle of the field. Now they're going with their hurry-up offense.
And this is what Louisville told us, that they will be using the no-huddle offense to try and keep those defensive backs off of the field. And we asked Nagel, is this a problem? He says, no, not really. He says, we've been working on it the last 5 weeks. Play action. And it is tipped, intercepted. Alabama has the ball. Stacy Harrison with the interception and the first turnover of the ball game.
Well, that was good fortune for Harrison. McKay makes an excellent effort diving to come up with the ball, and it just comes off his fingertips and it goes up into the waiting arms. Good protection here. Play action fake. He gets back in there. A lot of time. Just a little bit too far. Tremendous effort by McKay right here as he lunges, and there it pops up right into the waiting arms of Harrison.
And so Alabama takes over at their own 35-yard line. First down. Harrison had 2 interceptions during the regular season. And Alabama comes out throwing. This is a surprise. And Hollingsworth is brought down by Flores.
That, however, is not a surprise, being sacked by Flores. Flores over the last 2 seasons has had 28 sacks. And it's funny, Charlie, when we were talking with him, I said, what's your success? What makes you such a good pass rusher? He says, my long arms, I guess. I don't know. See right there, look at them. They're all in his face. And sure enough, those long arms got there first.
And a loss of 14. It is 2nd down and 24. Derek Vlasic is now the running back. Kevin Turner is in. And Hollingsworth to throw again. Dumps this one off short to Turner. And Turner is out to the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. His momentum will carry him to the 32, where it'll be 3rd down. The Alabama offense. Hollingsworth is the quarterback. Chris Anderson and Kevin Turner, the starting running backs. Russell Finkley and Buskey are the receivers. The offensive line, Matt Hammond, William Barger, Robert Stoltz, Trent Patterson, and Terrell Chapman. There's that offensive line.
3rd and 13.
And the ball is the 32-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 13. at the 45-yard line by Mark Sander, number 48, and therein lies the story. 6 weeks ago, on Thanksgiving night, trying to break up a fight, he was stabbed. It just missed, the knife just missed his heart by about a quarter of an inch. He has recovered to start in this ballgame.
And Mark Sander is 3 tackles away from the all-time record set by the great Chicago Bear linebacker Doug Buffone. And he doesn't look like he's having any problems at all. He felt like he was only going to play about half the game, but if adrenaline means anything, we're going to see Sander out there all over the place.
4th down, Williamson to kick, and Joy Smith is the return man. Taken at the 29-yard line and dropped in his tracks. And so, what we've seen so far, Louisville able to move the ball. Alabama, though, came up with the interception, and in the Louisville defense held them. We've got a timeout, no score. Welcome back to the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. We have no score. Let's go down to Tom Hammond. Tom?
Charlie, the condition of the field has been a source of concern for both coaches today. There are giant patches on this field, which are nothing but mud. I know it's hard to grow grass in the desert, but they did have some rain last weekend. The NFL Cardinals played here on a wet day and sort of chewed up the field. It looks great from where you are up top because they painted it green on Sunday, but the yard lines were being painted just about 2 hours before game time today. Another source of irritation for the coaches.
All right,
a source of irritation to the players. Let me tell you, when you fall on that, that hurts.
The paint hurts?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
It hurts.
It's got to be tough.
You. Oh, okay, listen to you.
The quick pass right side is complete to Curtis Lipsy. And I was looking to see if we had flags.
Nice block downfield by Freddie Jones to spring him for that extra 10 yards. Alabama definitely caught flat-footed there.
And let's check out the other games today. Michigan over Mississippi at the Gator Bowl, 35-3. Clemson over Illinois, 30-0. Both of those are finals. Here we have no score, and we have 11:37 time remaining. We're in the first quarter. 19 yards on the play to the 47-yard line and a first down. So Louisville, from what we've seen so far, is able to move the ball against Alabama. And here's the pitch to Dawkins. And Dawkins is around the corner, and he goes out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 50-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Charlie, they're going to get McCabe for a clip. He pushed down the outside linebacker in that situation. He didn't have a hold of him, so he was able to just push him down from the back, and he got caught.
Theo Phillips is the referee.
Jason Gordon was one who was in pursuit. He's the one that got pushed down.
We have a clip on the offensive team, 15-yard penalty, still first down.
One of the things that Coach Snellenberger pointed out to us is that they felt that they had to run weak side if they were to run at all, because they knew that their tight end McKay, who was an outstanding pass receiver, was not as strong a blocker. So coming to the point of attack, that was going to hurt them, and right there it cost them.
Browning Nagel so far 2 of 3, 38 yards. He has suffered that interception by Stacey Harrison. And now the ball placed back at the 32-yard line.
As a 15-yard penalty. It's got a free 5.
Ball on the 33-yard line. First and 25.
Play action fake. And a middle screen is set up to Ralph Dawkins. Dawkins to the 40, to the 45, to the 46-yard line.
Number 22, Ralph Dawkins.
So he picks up 14 yards.
Brought down by number 90, John Sullivan.
We'll check the other bowl games. In the 4th quarter, Georgia Tech big over Nebraska. And Miami out in front of Texas. Blowing them away in the Congo.
It's going to make for some arguments at the end of the day.
Oh, yes,
who's number 1? That should be fun. Here they are with the hurry up.
2nd and 11 at the 46. And the pass It's incomplete to Ken McKay, the tight end. And he's got 17 yards in the first down.
Browning Nagel is doing an outstanding job of getting the ball away quick. They're having a hard time. You can see from the right of your screen, Antonio Leonard will just come in and just miss the sack. McKay cuts across on the crossing pattern, gets some more yards after the catch. Browning Nagel, if they sit in that zone all day long, is going to pick them apart.
Nagel rolling to his right, and it is incomplete. He wanted to just drop it over the defense to Dawkins, and he let him a little too much. It'll be second down and 10, the ball at the 37-yard line.
That's a bad throw. I'm sure Browning wishes he had that one back. He had Dawkins wide open in the flat on the misdirection play and just threw it over his head.
He is known for having the great arm, but not to be too mobile, but he has been pretty active so far. Second and 10, no score in the ball game. Just over 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Swing right side is dropped by Curtis Lipsey, right in his hands, and it's incomplete. So it'll be third down and 10 at the 37-yard line of Alabama.
He heard Ephraim Thomas coming. Alabama's in a hurry. This is going to be interesting. Look at the speed factor right here. They're hurrying on as fast as they can to get on before they come up the line of scrimmage and call the play. If Browning Nagel's going to have this be effective, he's got to be quick with it.
He's got to be ready to go. And he goes deep, and it is incomplete. Fred Jones, he laid it in there perfectly, and Jones juggled it for a moment. George Teague had the coverage. He couldn't hang on to it.
Well, Browning Nagel tries to get up quick and get it away, and this is a terrific throw. It comes a little bit over the top of his head, but certainly a very catchable ball. Right in his hands, and right there, Teague punches his right arm and breaks it free. Good play there by George Teague. Give him credit, even though that was catchable.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will be kicking, and Chris Anderson is the return man.
From the football hotbed of Mississauga, Ontario. Boy, they recruit a lot of them out of there, don't they?
He's a good one, though. And Anderson just steps away. And Louisville tries to down it, but it goes into the end zone, breaks the play, contact there. It'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So with 9:57 left to go, first quarter, we have no score in the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl.
Family of fresh citrus. It's the highest in quality. You have our word on it. By Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in America, and with Alamo, all the miles are free. By Ultra Slim Fast, a delicious, healthy way to lose weight. And by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance.
This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, 9:57 left to go, first quarter, at the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, and we have no score. Alabama with the ball at their own 20-yard line. Their running backs are Chris Anderson and Kevin Turner. And here is Anderson. Expected to carry the load today, and he'll pick up 4 to the 24. It'll be second down and 6. Reggie Johnson making the tackle. That front 7 for Louisville: Brian Hayes, Dan Gangwer, Ted Washington, Mike Flores, Reggie Johnson, Mark Sander, Pat Fitzgerald. In the secondary, John Gainey, William Blackford, Ray Buchanan, and Ricky McFadden. A lateral in reality to Turner on a swing pass, and the defense converges on him to Chris Anderson, and the defense converges on Chris. He is the freshman, 5'7", 175-pounder, and Flores was there again.
You know, Mike Flores has shown that he's more than just a pass rusher. He did have some 84 tackles on the season. He showed a lot of speed out there, running stride for stride with Anderson, pulling him down for no gain.
Mike Flores, number 96, the 6'3", 246-pound senior. We asked him about the wingspan. He didn't know what his wingspan was, and so we said, well, what about your tie shirt? He said, you know, what size tie shirt do you buy? And he said, I buy extra large, and then I try them on to see if they fit. So it was no help. He was no help at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Third down. And Hollingsworth overthrows everybody. It'll be fourth down. Gene Stallings, the head coach, a very popular figure here in Tempe, of course, the former head coach of the Cardinals. And one of the reasons he was so popular, he had a commercial that he did here for a bank locally, and he did one of them with his mother. And everybody loved that commercial.
Quite a family man. It was very impressive at the banquet. He made it a point to have his family stand up and be introduced. There was a bunch of them, too.
Yes. Tank Williamson now. He'll be kicking to Joey Smith. Almost blocked. And Smith will let it go. It takes an Alabama roll. But for the second time in the ball game, the Louisville defense has held the Crimson Tide. 50 yards on the kick and the roll. And here is Pat Fitzgerald as he almost gets the block. No score. We'll be back in a moment.
You'll be wondering why this wasn't roughing the punter. Take a look at Tom Cavallo. He takes the exact right angle. So if he blocks the punt, he misses him. Look, he never gets touched. Tank Williamson goes down trying to draw the charge or maybe the Golden Globe Award, but he got neither.
And there is Cavallo, number 41. And the Cardinals have the ball first down at their own 27-yard line. AC in motion. That's Cummings, and they give to the right side. Is Pete Bynum. And we now have a final in the Citrus Bowl. Number 2, Georgia Tech, 45. Number 19, Nebraska, 21.
I can tell you right now, if Colorado were to beat Notre Dame, Georgia Tech would be the first people screaming about 5 downs in Missouri.
I think it's time to put the 5th down controversy to bed. I really do, because they spiked the ball thinking that it was 3rd, thinking they were going to the 4th. It's an official's mistake and not a team mistake. Play action. Juggled and then caught, and here goes Latrell Ware. 70 yards, touchdown Louisville.
Charlie, we had talked about earlier how Alabama is going to have to get out of that zone defense. Browning-Nagel with a gun for an arm is able to put it right in the seam. Doing an outstanding job of reading that defense. This is an out and up or a swing route, depending upon your terminology, that is run here by Latrell Ware.
And Wilsmeyer will attempt the extra point. High snap, but it is brought down by the holder, Greg Brom, and it is good. And Louisville leads 7-0.
Take a look at the arm of Nagel as he's able to gun it right in there. Right in the middle of the seam, you see the dive. He doesn't have him man for man. Look, there's nobody over there, so he can bobble it. He's got plenty of time to get it. But when Ephraim Thomas misses the tackle, he is long gone. Touchdown Cardinals. They're up 7-0. We'll be back.
We have just had a Sunkist Fiesta Bowl record tied. The longest pass reception prior to this ball game, Alvin Moore, Arizona State against Oklahoma, 1983. From Todd Hahn, 70 yards and not a touchdown. This 70 yards and a touchdown.
Charlie, I know everybody's excited about Dan McGuire as a prospect as a quarterback, as well as some others, but they better take a look at Browning. Look at this. I love this.
Yeah. There's not an official name for that. We checked to see if there was an official name for that. I think you could call it the Cardinal Stomp. We'll name it.
It's kind of funky. I like it.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will kick off. Alabama was 3 deep. And taken at the 5-yard line by Robert Jones. And Jones will be ridden down at around the 17-yard line by David Moeller. Stay tuned on NBC. Watch CU make Irish orange juice. And of course, Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg.
Wait a minute. OJ didn't go to Notre Dame.
No, but OJ would be on the sideline of the Orange Bowl.
Oh, that's what that means.
Oh, that's what
okay.
Oh, yes.
Fine.
The man has a legend of fans, legion of fans. Actually, a legend of fans, too. But to the truth about it. And, of course, the Orange Bowl follows the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Alabama now trailing 7-0. Chris Anderson gets the call, and he is stopped by Gangler and Ted Washington. Ted Washington, number 99, 6'5", a 308-pound senior, and you played against his father.
Yeah,
and when I found this out, Todd could not believe it.
Well, I thought you were messing with me.
No,
you're always trying to make me feel old, and there it was. And sure enough, Ted Washington, a great linebacker for the Houston Oilers.
From 73 to 82.
I have the dents on my body to prove that that man can hit. So can his son.
Second down. Here is Anderson on the counter. And he battles his way out to the 24-yard line, and a flag is down. Oh, there's a fumble underneath. And Louisville comes up with the ball. You can paint the afternoon red, but it is cardinal red as we'll take another look.
Well, he cuts back right here, and right there you can see he's trying to shift from the right to the left. The ball comes up, hustling over there. Can't see, is that Buchanan?
Yes.
Sure enough. That's only the 9th fumble that Louisville has recovered this year, but it's apropos that it would be Buchanan because he is the big play man in their secondary. He's their punt blocker, field goal blocker. This man can play. He's the young man who wanted to play wide receiver and initially was very irritated that he had to be moved to safety, but now I'm sure he's very glad because he's one of the leaders for the Louisville Cardinal defense.
Mel Mills caused the fumble.
Come on!
And Nagel will try to capitalize immediately, and he goes to Curtis Lipsy. And Lipsy goes to the 18-yard line, where it'll be second down.
Granted, we're early in the game, but I think it's important here for the Alabama defense to assert itself and make Louisville kick a field goal. And if they go in with 2 touchdowns up, the way the momentum has definitely shifted to the side of the Cardinals, and Bama could be out of this game early.
And this time Louisville sets up with the no huddle, forcing Alabama to stay in the defense or stay with the personnel that they have, and then he takes his time to make his call, and he gives to Lipsy, and he goes over the right side. It was second down and a little over 2 to go for the first down. Antonio London, who is starting at right linebacker in place of Spencer Hammond, who has the knee injury, is there to make the tackle at the 16. Third down, about half a yard.
This could be an interesting call. I wouldn't be surprised to see them throw into the end zone.
Play action fake into the end zone.
Yeah, this is 4-down territory. What the heck? Boy, it's easy to do it up here, isn't it? If a coach heard me say that, they'd go nuts.
5.5 minutes to go, first quarter. Louisville leads 7-0, now trying to capitalize on the turnover. And the Alabama defense is there. Lipsy, the ball carrier, and Byron Holbrooks, the senior from Haleyville, Alabama, makes the play at the 20-yard line. A loss of 4, it'll be 4th down.
Big play. Big play for the Alabama defense. They needed to stop right here. You can see right there, he gets away from the pulling guard, shows the quickness, inordinate quickness for a man 270 pounds, stuffs the play where it stands. Now it forces Louisville to attempt a field goal.
And Klaus Wilmsmeyer will attempt a 37-yard field goal. He was not supposed to kick field goals today. He's been bothered by a nerve injury in the groin area. And now we have contact and an exchange of punches. And in the heat of battle, the nice thing I liked about it, you had the exchange of punches, though, and then everybody stepped away, and it didn't become a giant pushing and shoving contest.
Yeah, but nonetheless, this is a critical mistake by the Alabama defense. If indeed it is against them, that will give Louisville a first down.
Dead ball foul. Dead ball foul. Offsides. Defense. First down.
A veteran is number 79. Let's see if it's Holbrook.
Right after he makes a big play, now he makes a big mistake. Anxious to try and make the play, but right there, you have to be conscious of the fact that, hey, we've had a victory here. We gave up a turnover on our 20-yard line. We held. Blocking the field goal would be gravy. Just making the kick was good enough, and now it's cost them. Now Louisville's going to have another shot at a touchdown.
First down at the 15-yard line. And a throwback pass to the quarterback. High, wobbly. He pulls it in. He had to wait on it too long. Lipsy to Nagel, and Antonio London was able to get out there. I'll tell you one thing. Nagel's got a great arm. Lipsy doesn't.
This looked like a sandpiper with sand on his wings. Watch this thing go end over end. I mean, Joe Kapp would throw this ball away. Look at that. Look at the trajectory. Look at the way that ball goes back and forth.
If Nagel had a lot of smarts, he'd signal for a fair catch.
I tell you what, that was actually a pretty good catch. That is a hard ball to catch, and of course, Nagel's not normally a receiver. That's actually a pretty good play.
Second down and a couple, a gain of 8. And Nagel rolls to throw. He wants to set up a screen. He was giving a lot of ground. The screen was not there. A flag is down. Cummings, the nearest possible receiver. Four minutes and 20 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. It's Louisville 7 on a Nagel to Ware's 70-yard touchdown pass. That came at the 7:35 mark.
We have clipping on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
And we now have a final on the Cotton Bowl. Miami 46 and Texas 3. Whew.
Not exactly the great game that anticipated, was it?
No, it'll be a very sad evening in Austin. 6 in the secondary now for Alabama. Howard Schnellenberger, the head coach of Louisville. I asked him, you remember when he visited me? I said, you know, is this a crusade? And he said no, and he took 30 minutes to tell us why it wasn't, which therefore, of course, meant that it was. Exactly. But it is. It's the tradition of Alabama. They expect to be in the bowl game. The dream of Louisville. In 5+ years, he has really rebuilt this program.
And one of the things that I noticed, too, that when you talked about whether or not they're ready for big-time college football, boy, did he have an answer. He had a giant-sized chip on his... In fact, it was a building, not a chip.
Dawkins inside the 10. Dawkins to the 5-yard line. He needed 17. He got 18, and that should be first down and goal to go, but we may have to check out a measurement.
Charlie, far be it from me to be critical of the defense of Alabama, but after a 15-yard penalty like that, you're content to let them get 10 or 15 yards and kick the field goal. Right there, Alabama went with an all-out blitz. They came with 8, and there was absolutely nobody on Dawkins when he went out in the flat.
Nagel now 7 of 11, 165 yards already, still with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 165 yards in the first 11 minutes of the ball game.
Those are Detmer-like numbers.
Heisman-like numbers. And here is Dawkins for the corner, and he's got it. .340 left to go in the first, and Louisville up 13-0 with the extra point to come.
Charlie, Anthony Cummings is usually the guy that makes the catches in the end zone, but he had a terrific block on the corner man there that sprung him to get him into the end zone. Boy, that was a nice block by the little man.
Wilmsmeyer with the extra point. And it is blocked. And I believe, was it Holbrooks? Holbrooks has been the star, the GOAT, and the star again as Holbrooks blocked the extra point attempt. He had blocked 2 field goals during the regular season, so he is used to being there.
Watch the arm over right there. He gets between the guard and center gap right in the middle of your field, number 79. Great play there by Holbrooks. Now you're going to get a chance to see from ground level. Coming up, if you can see the left of your screen, watch who's on top of number 5. You'll see it right there going down. Anthony Cummings making a great block, enabling Dawkins to get into the end zone to put Louisville up by 2 touchdowns. First time Alabama's given up.
Bring your own graphics. Mom and Dad, Nagel's biggest cheerleaders. And what a game he is having, 165 yards already. And what did his coach say about it?
Isn't that interesting that when we were talking with Howard Schnellenberger, somebody who's coached a quarterback or 2 in his time, he was saying that this young man is as good as Jim Kelly. Now that is saying an awful lot, but of course this first quarter kind of proving the point, isn't it?
And when he made that statement, everybody looked at each other, yeah, sure, right. Yeah, sure, right. Well, he is right. He's a very good singer, too. He has a record out. All right, here's the kick. And Robert Jones. Jones to 15, the 20. Across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Let's go down to Tom Hammond.
Charlie, you're talking about Howard Schnellenberger and his comparing Browning Nagel to Jim Kelly. Schnellenberger does know about good quarterbacks. His first experience with a great one was when he was on the Alabama staff. He went to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania for several days, took Joe Namath by the hand and brought him to Tuscaloosa. He said he used all his money, all his clothes when they got off the plane. He was carrying the bags. He looked like the recruit. Namath looked like the coach. Took him over to practice. Bear Bryant invited him to the tower. That's when they knew how great Joe Namath was going to be.
And I can see Joe doing it. And you know that it happened just the way that Tom told it. Backward to throw. The pass is complete to Turner. And he goes to the 33-yard line, where Reggie Johnson makes the tackle. We alluded to the quarterbacks that Howard Schnellenberger has worked with. Joe Namath, Owen Gabriel, Bob Greasy, Jim Kelly, Kozar and Testaverde. That's a pretty good half dozen.
Not a bad group there, yeah. Hall of Famers and Heisman Trophy winners, and he said that Nagel's as good as some of those. Wow. High praise indeed.
Second down. And on the draw, here's Turner. Turner to the 45.
Whoa.
Backpedals, 49-yard line of Louisville. First time that Alabama has been in Louisville territory, and a gain of 18 yards on the play. Ricky McFadden with the tackle.
Oh, well, if Ricky McFadden with the tackle, it must have been some 8 yards. Take a look at what happens to Ricky McFadden. Good job blocking downfield, getting Sander out of the play. Now watch 39 come up and take the forearm. Ouch! Right over the top of him. If he got the tackle, he got it with his foot because he ran right over it.
And William Barger with the key block, the offensive guard for Alabama. Little play action fake, pass is complete left side to Martin Houston.
Number 35, Martin Houston.
Gainey makes the tackle
Brought
on the
down by
play.
number 25,
And for Houston, that is only his 9th reception of the year. Had 8 during the regular season.
We'll give Mal Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide, some credit right here. Their first 2 series they go absolutely nowhere. Now they adjust a little bit with some draws, some short passes out in the flat, not taking too many chances. But with the one big draw play now, they're heading into scoring territory.
Louisville wanted to take them out of the run mode and force them into the pass mode. But Alabama has been able to be successful in this drive in both areas. Little play action fake, puts this one up for grabs. It's intercepted. Should not have thrown this one. William Blackford with the interception.
That's the very thing that has plagued Gary Hollingsworth all year. He had only 4 touchdown passes this season, but 14 interceptions. Flores doesn't buy the bootleg fake, and he doesn't want to get sacked, so he throws quickly. Blackford with a diving catch. Terrific snag. Usually you don't have defensive backs with those kind of hands, but man, I guess it's those tackified gloves, because once again, terrific catch.
And so Louisville leading in the ball game by a score of 13-0. Move again on offense from their own 23-yard line.
That's great when you take all those congratulations. Your hand can get sore. Because, man, they got some 90 players down there all come over to slap his hand.
Incomplete. Behind Fred Jones. And in case you're wondering, we still have 1:49 left to go in the first quarter.
Ephraim Thomas almost returned the favor there. They're all SEC safety. Anticipated that slant route and almost came up with the interception.
And again, the no-huddle set, forcing Alabama to go with the players that they have on the field, keeping them out of their substitutions that they like to make. Play action fake by Nagel. Lots of time. Buys a little bit more. And the pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Just as well as this was incomplete because the center Kerry Fig was at least 5 yards downfield, so that actually saved them a penalty by having that pass come up incomplete.
7 of 13, 165 yards, a touchdown and an interception.
One of the things I like about Browning Nagel, Charlie, is he seems to see the field. He's able to come off his first receiver well. And on the collegiate level, that's one of the most difficult things for a quarterback, is to be able to go to your 2nd and 3rd receivers, and he seems to do a very good job of that.
Alabama now with 7 in the secondary. And a 3-man rush. And he goes deep, double coverage, caught at the 45-yard line. Fred Jones. First down.
Charlie, you're exactly right. That was double coverage. What a terrific throw by Nagel. They told us that Freddie Jones is probably their best receiver. Look at the outside route. They got somebody on the outside, somebody on the inside, but the man on the inside doesn't get out quick enough, and Jones is able to make it out there, jump for the catch. Terrific throw by Nagel.
And a gain of 22 to the 45-yard line.
Freddie Jones is complaining over the fact that every time they seem to get inside the 30 or their 20, Anthony Cummings comes in for him and takes those touchdowns away from him.
Pete Bynum. And from Thomas stops him after 18. And so the Cardinals with 22 yards and 18 yards on the last two plays. Back-to-back first down.
Everything is going their way. Look at the right side of the defense. Look at how Holbrook was pushed off the line. Now watch Ephraim Thomas come up and take that forearm. Ouch. Look at how fired up that sideline of Louisville is.
And we still have 1:06 left to go in the first quarter.
How can that be pronounced Bynum?
Because that's the way his mother and dad pronounced it.
Oh. All right.
You're not going to trap me on that.
Okay.
Incomplete. McKay, the intended receiver. First down. Louisville 8, Alabama 1.
Sometimes statistics lie, but there they don't. It's been an offensive show for Louisville thus far. There's the man that has to be wondering what's going on with his defense.
And we have official's whistle.
I'm wondering myself, I didn't see any debris and I didn't see the play clock going down.
And don't forget, immediately following the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, we'll be going to Miami. And the battle for #1. Colorado and Notre Dame. The play action fake. And what an arm this kid has got. And it is caught. Anthony Cummings. 37 yards. AC has the touchdown as today he celebrates his 23rd birthday.
It's the Browning-Nagel show. They didn't call it right. I know it's the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, but my goodness. Browning-Nagel already throwing for over 200 yards, and now, what a statistic for Anthony Cummings. That is his 101st catch and 26th touchdown. Going into this game, he had a touchdown for every 4 catches. Look at that. What a throw on the post pattern by Nagel.
And now you know, as you watch the end of the play, why it is called a post pattern.
Boy, doggone it, I wished I'd have said that.
I know.
Oh, boy. Browning-Nagel airing it all out, proving that Louisville does belong in big-time college football. Now they have to go for 2 because of the blocked extra point.
54 seconds is the time remaining in the first quarter.
Eyes up, move those feet, here they come. Hold out.
He had everybody covered, just kind of throwing this up with a hope and a prayer.
Well, that's one of the few incompletions that he's had. One of the problems. Take a look right here. Post pattern. Free safety goes out right there. You see Ephraim Thomas looking in the backfield, and there he is. The middle of the field is wide open, and Cummings with his 4.5 speed is heading directly to the post. Watch the catch. Watch the collision. Yes, he holds on. Thank goodness for that padding. You get a chance to see it up close right here. Take some serious contact. Oh, thank goodness for those shoulder pads.
When we asked AC how tall he was, he said 5'7". No. 5'8". 5'8".
Tall enough, baby.
Officially 5'8", 176. And his coaches say he's the luckiest receiver in the world. He is always there when we make the big play. Tells you something.
Well, we get a chance now to you get to see the graphic that I mentioned earlier regarding his ratio of touchdowns to catches over his career here. Look at that. His 25 touchdowns, now 26 is a school record there at Louisville, which, considering the fact that they have had the likes of people like Mark Clayton and Ernest Gibbons, a pretty significant record.
19-9, Most points in a quarter this season for the Cardinals of Louisville.
I have no doubt it's also the most given up by the Bama team.
And here is Anderson on the return for the goal. And he is out to the 19-yard line. Ray Buchanan makes the tackle. And the celebration has started along the Louisville bench.
There's some heartbeats down there going about 150 a minute right now. Every one of those guys, they are fired up. Believe me. They didn't talk about things like just the game. They talked about the university. They talked about state pride, for goodness sakes, when it comes to Kentucky and football.
And these seniors who have been through some very hard times under this coach, I mean, he really weeded them out early. And through some struggling years, and now a chance to have this kind of a game. The pass to Turner from Hollingworth is incomplete. And it'll be second down and 10 for Bama at their own 18-yard line.
Hard to believe we're still in the first quarter.
Second and 10 from the 18-yard line.
And the Tide, basically a running team, and now they'll have to come out throwing. Hollingsworth, 3 of 7, 24 yards and an interception.
Charlie, you have to feel a little bit sorry for Gary Hollingsworth. Last year, he was the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year, throwing for more than 2,000 yards. In fact, he was named Alabama's quarterback of the decade in the 1980s. But then he comes into the season, both wide receivers get hurt. One of his great receivers out in the backfield, Saran Stacy, gets hurt. And they have their starting left offensive tackle get hurt as well.
And he overthrows, and it is dropped by a defender. Ricky McFadden had the interception right in his arms, and it is incomplete. He overthrew Lamont Russell. Third and 10, back at the 18.
Well, Alabama got lucky here. This is right in his arms. Easy interception. Oh, boy. Here you get a chance to look at the lost starters that happened to Alabama right at the very beginning. Saran Stacy in the first game in games 2, 3, and 4. You can see the starting receivers and Chris Robinette, a very key offensive lineman for Alabama. Hence the reason why they started the season 0-3.
Third and 10. And Hollingsworth is sacked by Mike Flores. And that is the second sack for number 96, this young, budding artist who hopes to go to work after graduation for Walt Disney and do character.
Now that gives him a chance. He now has broken the school record. That's his 16th sack and breaks his own record, which was 14 last season. Look at him coming on what they call a limbo. He comes to the inside while the defensive tackle goes to the outside, pulling Hollingsworth down for his second sack of the game.
And he is painting a defensive masterpiece here. Here's pressure and it's blocked. Touchdown, Louisville.
Ray Buchanan, we had mentioned earlier, one of the big men and big play people for the Louisville Cardinals, comes up with the touchdown, but he's not the one that came up with the block. Let's see if we can get a chance to see it. The man that blocked it there, I believe, was number 28. And that would be Rene Coutu. Here you get a chance to see from the middle. Coming, look at it, laying out, just giving up his body. Bounces, what a fortuitous bounce. I'm sorry, the block was made by Ricky McFadden, the one who was run over earlier. Tremendous play by McFadden. Buchanan gets the gravy. Touchdown again for the Cardinals. The first quarter isn't even over yet. There's still a second left.
The Bama fans had to figure, will it ever end? And Louisville goes for 2. Swing pass right flat. And Dawkins does not go in. And the score remains Louisville 25, Alabama nothing with 1 second to go, first quarter.
Small consolation, but that was a nice tackle there by George Teague to keep him out of the end zone. I don't know if that's anything to build on, but Alabama right now has to be struggling. There's no doubt that early on, Louisville wanted this one much more than Alabama did. It was much more important to them. You know, when I addressed the point to Gene Stallings during the week, I said, is Alabama suffering a letdown? Did they put all their season on the Auburn game? Was that the most important thing? And he says, no, I think that they're going to come out and play well, but clearly, Charlie, Alabama is not as fired up as Louisville coming into this.
The Louisville Cardinals 25. The Crimson Tide of Alabama nothing with 1 second to go.
Number 33.
In the first quarter.
And number 40, Lorenzo Cole.
It's funny, Coach Schnellenberger took us through the scenario that it would take for the possibility of Louisville possibly being the #1 team. You know, one of those things where you go all the way down, so-and-so loses. I'm trying to remember all that was.
I know, but one of them was Georgia Tech had to lose. They didn't lose.
That's right. Okay, well, that one
so
doesn't
you can
count.
forget that.
Okay, yeah.
1 second to go in the first quarter.
I got it. The Louisville Lindy.
I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
Okay. It's yours.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will be kicking off. And it is taken by Cole at the 18-yard line. And as he returns, the first quarter comes to a close. In the first quarter, Browning Nagel, the Louisville quarterback, 9 of 16. He threw for 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Welcome back to the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Louisville leading 25-0. That is a Fiesta Bowl scoring record. Here is the pitch and the counter by Anderson. And he will go to about the 39-yard line. You'll take a look at the statistics in the first half. That 25 points, as I said, a record. That is a record for 2 teams scoring in the first quarter.
Amazing. The big statistic there is the yards passing. 230 passing yards in 1 quarter. There's no way Browning Nagel could have even dreamed it would be like this.
Oh, you can dream, but usually those kind of dreams don't come true.
Well, from the number of crunchers out there, that figures out to about 900 yards passing. That ain't gonna happen.
Second down.
Ball carrier.
Kevin Turner, the ball carrier. Pat Fitzgerald and Dan Ganger were both there.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
The ball at the 39, and it's 3rd down and 3.
You can see Ed Reynolds in there at middle linebacker, number 43 for Mark Santa. They're definitely trying to rest him, take good care of that knife wound, give him some time. He figures he's going to play about 30, 40 plays.
Hollingsworth pass is complete to Lamont Russell, and Alabama has the first down. John Gainey with a stop. Russell now weighing just over 200 pounds. When he came in this season, he had bulked up to 220. He told us he was going to be a tight end. He said that 213 is long now. It's closer to 200. He said, I had to lose 20 pounds. I said, well, how did you do it? We all want to lose 20 pounds. He said, I cut out late night snacks of ice cream. And he said, that did it.
Well, he has some amazing discipline, let me tell you.
And here is Anderson.
You know, getting back to Lamont Russell, he reminds me a little bit of Ozzie Newsome when he was there at Alabama. Ozzie Newsome was also a bit of a tweener when he came in, right around 200, 205 pounds. He bulked up a little bit to get to the Cleveland Browns, and as a tight end, I guess you'd say he's had a reasonable career.
Looking towards that Hall of Fame, I hope to shout he's had a reasonable career. Russell, by the way, his birthday was yesterday. He was 23 years old yesterday. And he and AC, we mentioned his birthday earlier, were both serenade at the U.S. West Sunkist Fiesta Bowl kickoff luncheon. 3,000 people joining in. And here is Derek Lassick, the ball carrier.
And they were afforded to listen to your dulcet tones as a singer, not just a broadcaster.
So bad. No, actually, what happened is that Browning Nagel, the quarterback of Louisville.
But you had a microphone. You were singing.
No, I gave it to.
You know, that's the first.
Gave it to Browning.
And truthfully, that's the first banquet I've ever been to where I actually saw people throw vegetables. I was very disappointed.
Well, they were throwing them at you.
Oh, yeah, right.
3rd down and 2. And you can tell the happy smile for the Louisville cheerleaders.
And the not so happy look on Gene Stallings' face.
Russell, the intended receiver. Lassick was also in the area.
Certainly it's extremely early, but gee, you might want to think about going for it. You want to give this Louisville team the ball back as hot as they are right now?
I think you have to punt it, though, and put the pressure in your defense, because the defense has certainly played well for Alabama this year. Joey Smith, the return man. He takes it back at the 5-yard line. Makes a couple of nice in and out moves. The flag is down. There may have been a face mask. He picked up 4 yards on the return following that 42-yard kick. Eric Washington was there for Alabama.
It'll be interesting to see the adjustments they make on defense going into this game as we get the call.
On the defense, they have a 5-yard face mask. Be first down.
Right here, they cut up the field, trying to make the tackle, reaching with whatever he can grab. It's incidental right there as he pulls him down, as he's having only the 5-yard penalty. Everything seems to be going Louisville's way right about now.
Xerox, the document company. By Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nobody's cooking like today's KFC. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Jeff Brom is now the quarterback for Louisville. Now, he always comes into the second quarter for a couple of series. And he gives to Curtis Lipsy. Now let's go down to Tom Hammond. Tom?
Charlie, she was a cheerleader for the Montreal Alouettes of the CFL when she met her husband. This is Mrs. Beverly Schnellenberger. She's been down on the sideline sweating out every play. Did you expect anything like this?
I really didn't, Tom. I just didn't expect this kind of 25-0. But you have to be careful. The mighty Alabama can strike any time we have 3 more quarters.
Did you think that your husband could turn it around when he took the job at Louisville? A lot of people said it was a no-win situation.
No doubt about it. He turned it around before. He can turn it around again and again and again. I had always had confidence in him, and a lot of people did behind him.
Speaking of turning around, you know, maybe it's this lucky jacket you have on. Could you turn around and show us the back of this jacket? So far, it's worked. Charlie?
And while that was working, Jeff Brom was brought down by Whammy Ward, but not before he picked up the first down.
I'll tell you why that works. That's a Cardinal with teeth, and definitely today. You know, I've seen all those before, you know, the St. Louis Cardinals and some of the other Cardinals that I've seen. That's the first one I've seen with teeth.
And here's Pete Bynum.
They mean business. Definitely today they do.
11 minutes time remaining in the first half. In case you joined us late, you have missed a lot of fireworks. And they've all been on the Louisville side. The Cardinals lead Alabama by a score of 25-0.
You know, we get a chance there to look at Brownie Nagel. I understand what they're doing and giving this young man a chance to play, but as hot as he was, maybe he's thinking, man, well, I got the hot hand. Let me keep going. Let me keep rolling sevens.
And he's brought down for a loss. Antonio London is the man who made the play in high school. He was a 6'8" high jumper.
Well, this is the inexperience of the quarterback right here. He's running out of time. He's a good scrambler. He's got good feet, but he, in effect, runs right into Antonio London. London makes a nice play right there, getting a big sack for Alabama. Now a 3rd and long.
And again, the Cardinals going very quickly without the huddle, forcing Alabama to go without their normal substitution. And he throws, and it is intercepted. Antonio Langham with the interception.
The big thing you notice here with Louisville with Brom at quarterback as opposed to Nagel is the rhythm and the speed of the way things go. With the 7-step drops, you can see that Nagel would go back and throw. Right here you can see he's biding his time, doesn't know quite where to go. He's out of sync, and right there he throws behind, running to his left. And a terrific interception there by Antonio Langham. Nice hands once again for the DB.
Ladies and gentlemen. The ball is Louisville 25, Alabama nothing. And Alabama with the ball just outside the 42-yard line of Louisville. And here is Junior Sewell, William Blackford with the tackle. And so Alabama's offense now starting to show some bits of life. Antonio Langham with that interception, he had a key one in the Tennessee game. So maybe the Tide can get on the board.
Parger and Hammond did a good job there of opening the gap there.
A gain of 13, first down at the 29-yard line.
It would be redundant to point this out, but I guess I'll do it anyway. They need to make that turnover into points. Down 25.
Hollingsworth, here's the screen. It is high but pulled down by Junior Sewell, and he is immediately pulled down by Ted Washington.
Ted Washington did a good job of spying in there. They're trying to set up the screen off to the left side, let their pass rushers come up the field, but Washington saw it all the way. 99 right over the center. Take a look at him right there. He's double teamed. He's watching the quarterback. He knows right there. Look at that. He took off before the ball was thrown. He knew it was a screen. That's an intelligent defensive lineman right there, spying things before they happen. Of course, he's got those terrific bloodlines. That explains it.
His dad, one of the great players in the NFL, playing for the Houston Oilers. Second down and 14. Play action fake, has time, steps away. He's going to run for it, heads for the sideline.
Ball carrier.
Not that bad a move for Gary Hollingsworth. Fitzgerald was chasing him for Louisville.
Once again, Mike Flores got in there and forces him out of the pocket.
When we talked with Hollingsworth, he was explaining how they send the signals into him at quarterback. They signal in the plays he carries on his wrist, the plays, and they're all numbered. And they have a system where you touch your ear, that's number 1. Your ear and your nose, that becomes 13. And they have a whole combination of flashing signs that signals in not the play, but the number that it is on his wrist.
So when you see right there, take a look at his wrist when he looks up there. That's where he knows he has it. That's a very simplified system. I think that's a good idea.
It's a good system, isn't it? Third down and 9. Incomplete. Johnny Finkley, and it was very catchable.
Well, I think Hollingsworth could have thrown a little bit better. You can see the ball kind of wobble, but definitely that was a catchable ball. A little short on there by Donnie Finkley. Take a look at as he glides over. Look at how he kind of right there, instead of coming all the way over and using his chest to catch the ball, he tries to arm it as to avoid getting hit. As a result, they're forced into a field goal.
Field goal attempt from the 36, an attempt of 46 yards. Now, Doyle, the consensus All-America kicker, has hit this year from 47. In his career, he has hit from 53, and they expect him to make these. And does he? No, he misses from 46 yards away. We've got a timeout, and Louisville has the big lead. 11, Jeff Brom, sophomore in high school, Mr. Football in Kentucky. He and his brother attended Louisville Trinity High School, 4.0 student, class president, recruited by the major schools across the country, and he is here as the future of Louisville. Here is Dawkins on the pitch. And Dawkins continues to do what his coach told us. He said, watch the yardage that he makes after there's been defensive contact.
He does a nice job of breaking tackles here. I like the way this young man runs. And certainly the Alabama defense has been softened up because of all the passing that's occurred in the first quarter. Take a look, the pull out here. It's a nice block here on London to push him to the outside. Cuts back. Now how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 tackles. He runs right through. 4, 5.
6, 7 before they get him down.
Terrific run.
14 yards to the 42, first down.
A lot of successful runners have that physique around 5'9", 207. There's a fellow in Detroit by the name of Sanders who has a similar physique.
And here is the reverse, and Alabama is there. And this is the reverse to his brother, Greg Brom. And I have a feeling Greg, after the handoff, looked up and said, why me?
I was going to say, that's all well and good to have family togetherness, but he just got hammered there. Both Langham and Thornton put the hit on him.
Steve Webb also there.
This isn't very well disguised. You can see that they're laying in wait for him. Ouch. Right there, he's airborne. He lands right on his left shoulder. You can see he's in a little bit of pain. That's a big man, Thornton, close to 300 pounds, landing on that shoulder.
An injury timeout, 7:49 left to go. First half, Louisville leads it 25-0. Brom, the sophomore from Louisville, who was shaken up, and we'll have an injury report on him in just a moment. And his brother, the quarterback, and he is throwing this one away to avoid the loss. And now let's go down to Tom Hammond.
Charlie Spencer Hammond is normally a starting outside linebacker for Alabama. He's injured, not playing today. Are you shocked that you've been pushed all over the field, this great Alabama defense?
Yes, I'm very surprised to see that the defense is playing as poorly as it is. You know, coming into this ball game, I would have never imagined that we'd be down, you know, 25 to nothing right now. And right now, only thing that I can see that, you know, the problems that we're having is there are some communication problems and with the coverages and the defenses that we're playing. And
Charles Gardner is going to go the distance here with an interception. We're sorry about that, Tom Hammond. But a bad throw by Braum. Interception there. He goes all the way. Charles Gardner threw it right to him. This might have been the break just that Alabama needs. Look at that. He throws it right. There it is. Runs right past in the closing route. Because it was to the right side of the field, there are no Louisville Cardinals. At 48 yards, you can see Braum's the last guy there. He cuts back, and that's why he's on offense and not defense. Going all the way for Alabama to get their first score and quite possibly get them back in this. This is just what this team needed.
And the extra point attempt is good by Philip Doyle. And Louisville now leads 25-7. Charles Gardner with a touchdown. His birthday is November the 9th. Same as mine. At the 20th Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl. It is now Louisville 25 and Alabama 7 as Philip Doyle will be kicking off for the Crimson Tide. Joey Smith from the 6-yard line, the return man for Louisville. He is to the 20 and ridden down at the 21-yard line by Eric Washington. And it is number 7, Browning Nagel, as expected, back in the ball game for the Cardinals. Let's go back to that interception.
Well, Tom Hammond's conversation with his counterpart Spencer Hammond, his namesake, might have been good luck for the Alabama Crimson Tide, who have not had much to cheer about. You can see Dawkins doesn't even see it. It's way behind him, and there's Gardner. He cuts off to the right, and there's nobody, absolutely nobody there but the quarterback who can't make the play. Now Alabama still down 18, but has something to cheer about.
And Louisville has the ball at their own 21-yard line. And Nagel is looking right into the sun. Swings this one out right side. Pass is complete to Lipsy. And Lipsy is out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A gain of 15. And the Louisville juggernaut, when led by Browning Nagel, continues to roll. It is the Nagel show.
Charlie, we knew coming in that the big issue here, the big debate would be whether or not Browning Nagel could throw against this Alabama pass defense, which is ranked #1 in the nation. They've only given up an average of 138 per game, and now today already, Louisville, I think that's, I'm not sure that's right.
That's for the team. Stats. Nagel has thrown for 237.
Wow.
10 of 17, 237, 2 touchdowns and an interception, and he has a first down here. And a fumble on the exchange. Was it Nagel that picked it up? Somebody got a hold of it.
Dawkins was heads up there.
I believe, yeah.
Not only did he get the fumble, he got a couple of yards, sticking his nose in there. Fumble snap from center. You know what? I know it's all well and good to get Braum in there and get him a couple of series, but you can see right there, fumbled snap. Nagel got cold. And let's face it, in the first quarter, he was hot as hot could be. Maybe they should have done that at the end of the first half as opposed to then, because right now it looks like Nagel's just a little bit disoriented.
Gain of 2, second down and 8. Nagel, a little play action fake. And his intended receiver slips down. That's Fred Jones. Mark McMillan had the coverage. And Jones stays down. He may be injured on the far side at about the 48-yard line.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. That was a good throw by Nagel, but as you mentioned, Jones is going down. Watch her as he falls down. Watch where the pass is. Pass would have been right on the money if he could have stayed up, but his face hits and then rolled over the top of him. His neck got caught up in the knee there of McMillan.
Anthony Cummings, AC, comes in to replace Fred Jones.
There, the ball's right on the money. You can see that's an awkward way to fall. Fortunately, he's okay now. He's running back across the field. Usually, you know, it's funny, you get used to people falling, and usually they land on their elbows or knees or butt. That's what you get used to. When they fall right on their chest, in that case, you can see his arms come up. That's very awkward. That can really shake your insides. I know by experience.
Third down and 8. 6:36 time remaining second quarter. Louisville 25, Alabama 7. Howard Schnellenberger and Gene Stallings, both assistants at the same time under Bear Bryant. They faced each other in the red-white game, a lot like this one, except it was spring football at Alabama. Nagel is going to keep, and he goes to the 45. Looks like he'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Stacey Harrison was there to stop him at the 45.
Of course, in the collegiate game, they don't have the slide rule like they do in pro football. And Browning Nagel would have been better advised not to slide there. If he'd have stuck his shoulder down, he would have got the first down, but he went for the slide. And as a result, he is about a yard short. So give the Alabama defense credit. They stopped him there. And look at Nagel looking at the sidelines, thinking about wanting to go for it.
I think they will go for it. It is 4th and 1.
Now, here's a history lesson for you. Remember a long time ago, Florida State and Penn State, and I believe it was the Orange Bowl. Penn State was up 17-0. They're on their own 15-yard line and decide that they're going to go for it.
Now they take a timeout to talk this over.
Well, give me a chance to finish this story here, and that was that they went for it on their own 15, thinking that they had the game well in hand. They didn't get it. Florida State went in and scored, and the game ended up tied at 17. So if Schnellenberger has any sense of history there, he might want to remember that. I'm not exactly sure what bowl game it was, but it was some 20 years ago.
Now the discussion.
I believe it was the Gator Bowl.
All right, here is Browning Nagel. Is he part of a long list of great quarterbacks in Louisville?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure that those names make the hairs rise in the back of your neck there.
Maybe he is the beginning of another long list.
Well, that could be. I think they did have one quarterback, though.
Oh, yes.
What was that guy's name again?
Johnny Unitas.
Ah, yes. Quarterback for the Steelers. Oh, no, the Steelers cut him. That's right.
That's right.
Amazing, isn't it? Look at that haircut. That's great. And oh, of course, the high-top shoes.
Top. And notice the number, and he just turned it upside down.
Very good. Isn't it interesting how things can be cyclical? You'll see a lot of high-top shoes out there today.
And Louisville is going for it at 4th and 1.
They went for it, Charlie. They got stuffed.
First down. Curtis Lipsy picks up the first down.
Charlie, this is a microcosm of a much bigger thing. This is not just a football game to the Louisville Cardinals. Not only are they representing the state of Kentucky and all of that in college football and all these melodramatic things, this is so much more important to Howard Schnellenberger. He told us that, interestingly enough, people don't realize that Louisville is within a day's drive of, I think it was 2/3 of the population in the United States. This is crucial to their recruiting program, the success of this game.
First down at the 47-yard line. Play action. Nagel rolling to his right. Throws downfield. Pass is complete to McKay. And it's a first down at the 30-yard line of Alabama. Stacey Harrison with the stop after 24 yards on the play. Ken McKay, the senior tight end, a graduate student, their clutch receiver, and his major is psychology.
And what's not to like about Ken McKay? What's not to like about the fact that he's a tight end? He graduated in psych. I know another tight end that graduated in psychology. In fact, one of my favorite players when I was in the pros.
That is very self-serving. And McKay is the one, when I introduced him to Todd, he said, "It's the legend. It's the legend." I said, "Oh, man, we're dead on that."
Well, of course, well, and you know he's in graduate school, right? He's an extremely bright young man.
He really is.
Bingo!
Pass far side to AC. Cummings has it, and he is out at the 16-yard line. Gain of 13, and Louisville is moving again. McMillan with the tackle.
Charlie, the best game that Browning Nagel has had in his career is 310 yards, and he is fast approaching this. That's way too much respect for the speed of Cummings right here, and AC is able to make the catch. Happy young man. I got a big charge out of him.
Nagel now 12 of 20. He's thrown for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And you saw the Rose Bowl score. And here's the sweep to the right with Dawkins. And he'll go down at around the 10-yard line.
Boy, did Curtis Lipsey put a block on George Teague, enabling Dawkins to get up the field. Wow.
Harrison and Roxwell on the tackle.
He had him airborne. Take a look at number 20. Watch 13 come up to support. Watch the block that 20 puts on him if you can. Oh, he's out of the screen. Too bad. Whoa, there he is. Flying across the screen some 5 yards. Terrific block by Lipsey to open things up for Dawkins. Wow.
2nd and 4. And Lipsey gets the call here, and he will go to the 6-yard line. And that's going to be close to the first down. Curry with the tackle along with Stacey Harris.
You know, the frustration of the Alabama defense is evident here. Nobody ever accused the Louisville Cardinals of having a terrific running game. But when they continue to get 4 and 5 yards a pop and push it down near the goal line, you can see the Alabama defense has to be tired because they've been on the field so much.
And officials timeout for the change to come in. And a reminder, stay with us here on NBC today. From the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl under the sunshine of Tempe, we'll be moving to the Evening Bomb of Miami, Florida, and the Federal Express Orange Bowl. It'll be number 1 Colorado and Notre Dame in the battle for the national championship.
You know, I was talking earlier, I believe it was with one of the people here at NBC. We were chatting about skating. Our producer, David Michaels, we were talking about how, you know, your entire career comes down to that 4 minutes in the Olympics. It's interesting for somebody like Browning Nagel, who has professional aspirations. A lot of people don't know him, aren't familiar with what he's done because they haven't necessarily been on national TV. Here he is with his one opportunity, his so-called 15 minutes, as Andy Warhol would say, to get his standing ovation, and he is doing it in then some.
And here is the reverse to Fred Jones, and he'll battle his way back to the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go as Eric Curry and Ephraim Thomas were there. Ephraim Thomas, number 5, by the way, the youngster at the kickoff luncheon on Friday, who presented the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl with that great portrait of Martin Luther King. Made a nice presentation.
Yeah, he did. Very intelligent young man, 2-time all-conference selection for Alabama in the SEC.
And when he moved from corner to safety, that defense really came together. 2nd and goal. The 1-yard line is Curtis Lipsey and Ephraim Thomas, all SEC, again in on the tackle.
And he needed to make that tackle because that was a nice play fake. Everybody assumed that Nagel was going to go with the bootleg, and when Lipsey went inside, but Thomas doesn't make that tackle at 6.
And an Alabama player injured.
I think it's Derek Oden, Charlie.
Injured player is number 56 for Alabama, Derek Oden.
That would be a loss for them because Derek Oden, in talking to some of the coaches, felt like he's going to be the next great Alabama linebacker. They have a rich history. Leroy Jordan, Woody Lowe, and more recently, such names as Derek Thomas and Cornelius Bennett. Take a look at the shot that he takes to his noggin here. Derek Oden. He arrives in a bad mood. Right here, his own teammate. Bang! Head to head.
With Stacey Harrison.
Terrific shot there. Thanks, Peter. Peter Bleckner, our director, giving us that shot. Is a headbutt from his teammate there, Stacey Harrison. And now you know why they have those pads. Look at how his name is upright there. That's because of the neck brace that they wear to prevent such collisions. If he doesn't have that neck brace on, that might be a lot more serious. Derek Oden, a smaller, faster version of a Matt Millen, he looks like to me. He arrives in a bad mood. I like the way he tackles.
Just outside the 1, 3rd down, goal to go. You talked with Matt Millen last night on the phone on New Year's Eve, I understand. You wish him a Happy New Year?
Heck no. Guy's the luckiest guy on the planet. Playing with that great team, getting cut from the Raiders. He doesn't need any Happy New Year's.
Over the top, and Lipsey is crushed. John Sullins. Ephraim Thomas. Oh, they were up in the air waiting on him.
Bragg Rockwell on the outside as well right there has his legs. Nice job by number 41, and of course Sullins coming to finish him off. Great job from the corner, and that's going to force them to kick a field goal.
Sullins, all SEC, and the leading tackler for the Crimson Tide.
A field goal will be attempted.
Great play.
Surprising that you'd have 2 middle linebackers of that size. We saw that Oden at 216 and Sullins at only 210. That's very unusual. Inside backers run around 240 pounds in this league.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer with a 19-yard field goal attempt. Looks to me it's going to be 20 if he places it at the 10. And it is blocked. Antonio London, number 55, was in to make the block.
Earlier, you had a chance to see Holbrooks come in. Now look at London taking the rush from the back. This is legal in college football. He can run and jump, and sure enough, look at the vertical. Catches it right on the hand. In professional football, you can't do that anymore, but in college, it's all right. They push the lineman up. Look at, wow.
And remember, I mentioned earlier that in high school, he was a 6'8" high jumper?
I'm telling you.
Now you know why.
London's got some hops.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, an undersized linebacker at 205.
So Alabama will take over at the 20-yard line, first down.
Slight shift of momentum here.
2:06 time remaining first half. Louisville leading 25-7. Hollingsworth is dropped at the 18. He'll lose a couple. It'll be second down. And Dan Gangwer with the third sack of the ballgame for the Cardinals.
You know, Dan Gangwer is quite a student. I was interested to find out that one of his major subjects that he was interested in was World War II and Nazi Germany.
Second and 11. They mark it at the 19.
I like to hear that. I like to read about young people being interested in history, understanding what got them to where they're at.
From the shotgun, knocked down. Turner, the intended receiver, but Brian Hayes made the play.
Not a terribly effective 2-minute offense at this point for Alabama.
Third down and 11.
It's a frustrated coach right there, Gene Stallings. This isn't what he had in mind coming back to Phoenix.
Hollingsworth, 5 of 13. He has thrown for only 26 yards and has been intercepted. Third and 11. Kevin Turner for a couple of yards. It'll be fourth down. Gangwer again with the tackle.
Heads up right there. John Gainey, the corner for the Louisville Cardinals, was able to get over the official right away and call timeout to give Browning-Nagel another shot at it with more than a minute remaining.
And that is their second timeout. Remember, they had one earlier when they discussed going on 4th and 1, so they have one remaining. And setting up for the return is Joey Smith, number 37. When we talked to him at the luncheon, remember, we asked how fast he was. He'll be looking in that sun. It's going to be a tough call. And he gave us about 5 different times. He had a head time, an AccuTrack time, a barefoot time, a downhill time. And they got better and better and better.
It was funny when you're interviewing him there, and he says, well, okay, you know, on grass I run 4.35, but on the AstroTurf I'm 4.29. Now, on the AccuTrack, I was timed at 4.37, but with a left-handed timer, I ran, you know, you're right, it was very funny. But as I recall, the slowest of the group was like 4.37,
oh, yeah.
So
he can fly.
This young man can go.
And also, he was on the dais as one of the Louisville players to be introduced, and he wasn't there, and so Mark Sander went down and got him out. He said, "I'll take care of it." So he went down and brought him up, and I asked him. He said, "Sometimes they don't tell me anything."
Man, if there's a free meal, I'm there in a big hurry.
Tank Williamson will be kicking. There's pressure again. It is short. Smith takes it at the 48 and is down at the 48-yard line. Louisville territory, a kick of only 31 yards. And again, it was Eric Washington, who's had a very good ball game on the special teams for Alabama down, making the tackle. 1:13 left to go in the first half. And as you see, the Cardinals lead the Crimson Tide 25-7 in a major upset in the working. And the key has been the quarterback for the Cardinals, Browning-Nagel, with a simply awesome first half. Nagel has completed 12 of 20. He has thrown for 275 yards. And now the straight shot up the middle. Here's Pete Bynum. And the ball pops loose, and Alabama has it. Lorenzo Mammy Ward, number 18, recovers the fumble.
Great call here. They're setting their pass defense, cuts upfield. The ball is going to be stripped right there. Nice hit put on him there by Charles Gardner, who also had the interception for the touchdown earlier, and that enabled number 18, Lorenzo Ward, to make the recovery.
And so the Crimson Tide defense now has 3 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, and the fumble recovery, and yet they still trail 25-7. Turnover is 4-2. Alabama from their own 39-yard line. First down. Just over a minute to go. Here's the middle screen to Turner. And the offense of Alabama having a difficult time getting anything going. Now they go without the huddle, the 2-minute offense.
Well, they've been a little predictable thus far. They're going to take some chances here and get the ball down the field.
From the shotgun. Hollingsworth swings it out to the right side. This is Turner. And Turner down the sideline, dragging John Gainey with him, who is the best cover man for Louisville, and he picks up 10 on the play. And that'll be the first down. A little bit more than that.
I was going to say he's probably upset with himself that he didn't get out of bounds, but Alabama, with all of its timeouts, is able to call one right here.
They're going to mark it at the Louisville 43-yard line, first down. 33 seconds, time remaining in the first half. Howard Snellenberger of the Louisville Cardinals. And here is a man who has made history in the Orange Bowl, and that's, of course, where we'll be going right after our ball game. The Federal Express Orange Bowl, number 1 Colorado against number 5 Notre Dame for the national championship. And also could be, no one knows for sure, but it could be the Rockets' final collegiate game. He may come out possibly for the supplemental draft. That has not been we've had some messages, some kind of sounds coming out of Miami. Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg have talked to him, and it is a possibility, but it's nothing more right now than a possibility, and perhaps something will be decided at the Orange Bowl itself. But it should be a great ball game.
One of the things that young men like this have to consider is their family. And, of course, Rocket Ismail comes from a one-parent household with a number of brothers. And so the finances are certainly a consideration, and not just for himself, but for his family.
First down at the Louisville 43. 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Little swing right side. And it's Martin Houston on the receiving end. Tom Cavallo makes the tackle.
You know, at this point in the game, Gary Hollingsworth can't be concerned with interceptions. He's got to throw the ball up the field. I know that the game plan had short passes and things of this nature, but once you're down by 3 touchdowns, that's got to go out the window. With only 27 seconds left in the half, what difference does it make if you get an interception? You've got to take some chances and get up the field.
Second down. Kevin Lee comes wide to the near side, and he is the speedster, a freshman who won all kind of high school track awards. Nice. The pass goes to the other side, and that is Lamont Russell. He pulls it in for the first down. 15 yards, just outside the 30.
15 yards on the play, first down. Alabama at the 31-yard line of the play.
It was Donnie Finkley on the receiving end. Now he goes downfield, and it is incomplete as he overthrows Lorenzo Cole.
Gives him a chance to go over and talk with Mal Moore, the offensive coordinator, as to what to do next.
Second down and 10. Just outside the 30-yard line. 13 seconds left to go in the first half.
Might want to use that wide side of the field here. Give himself a chance. When you throw to the weak side of the field where the hash marks are set up in college football, you're cutting off 2/3 of the field. You might want to look left.
And again, the speedster Kevin Lee wide to this side. They hand off inside. Martin Houston, the ball carrier. And Alabama stops the clock with 8 seconds. left to go in the half. I'm surprised with that call.
I'm not surprised. I'm dumbfounded. I don't understand that at all. You know, you come up third, you come up second and 12, and you go to the fullback in the middle of the field. I understand the mentality, the surprise tactic here, but what if he does get the first down? The clock might run out in the time it takes for him to get the run.
Eight seconds, time remaining, first half of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Louisville 25, Alabama 7. I know we've had some one-sided scores in the bowl games today, but I'm not sure we've seen as big a surprise as we've seen in the first half here, engineered by this man, Howard Schnellenberger of the Louisville Cardinals. Their record is 9-1-1. And when we asked him about a national championship, he said we're there, but I think what he was really saying, we're almost there. We are so very, very close to operating continually on that level. Of course, that's what he wants to do.
Well, the quote that keeps making the papers from Howard Schnellenberger with regards to a national title is that it is going to come through Louisville. The only variable is time.
Collinsworth throws, pass is incomplete, stops the clock with 4 seconds now to go. Quickly the intended receiver. And let's review the scores of the bowl games that we were talking about. Michigan over Mississippi in the Gator Bowl, 35-3. Clemson shuts out Illinois, 30-0. Georgia Tech over Nebraska, 45-21. Miami destroys Texas, 46-3 in the Cotton Bowl. And here it is, Louisville 25, Alabama 7. And a 49-yard field goal attempt by Philip Doyle. And he is now 0 for 2. Doyle missing from 46 and now from 49 as the first half comes to a close with the score, the Louisville Cardinals 25, the Alabama Crimson Tide 7. And this the 20th edition of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. And now let's go to Bob Costas. Bob?
Thank you, Charlie. Happy New Year again, everyone, and welcome back to Miami's Orange Bowl as we continue our coverage of this Championship Tuesday. Coming up, we'll be joined by Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, and Bob Trumpy as we look ahead to tonight's Colorado-Notre Dame game. And just ahead, we'll go back to the Fiesta Bowl for the much-talked-about halftime show honoring American patriots, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. First, a check of the other bowl games on this New Year's Day, beginning with the Gator Bowl played in Jacksonville, Florida. The 12th-ranked Michigan Wolverines prevailed easily over the Mississippi Rebels, which came in ranked number 15. 35-3, the final score. The Big Ten co-champions win it easily. Mississippi with its record of 9-2 coming in, its best mark since Archie Manning was their quarterback in 1971, but they go down by 32 points, 35-3. In the Hall of Fame Bowl in Tampa, Florida, Illinois, the only team to defeat Colorado this year, beat them 23-22 early in the season, loses to the Clemson Tigers by a score of 30-0. Clemson completely dominating the game, their quarterback Deshane Cameron throwing for 2 touchdowns. In the Florida Citrus Bowl, and this is big, Georgia Tech positions themselves to win the national championship if Notre Dame beats Colorado tonight. The Yellow Jackets beat Nebraska 45-21. William Bell ran for 127 yards. Sean Jones threw for nearly 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The Yellow Jackets, whose record is marred only by a tie earlier this year against North Carolina, finish 11-0-1, and they would have a legitimate claim to the national title if Colorado stumbles tonight against Notre Dame. We'll talk with Georgia Tech coach Bobby Ross a little bit later. The Miami Hurricanes all over the Texas Longhorns at the Cotton Bowl, 46-3. Craig Erickson throws for 272 yards and 4 touchdowns. Texas had won 9 in a row since losing to Colorado, 29-22. Miami finishes with 6 consecutive victories. They had come in ranked number 4. They finished 10-2. Texas also 10-2, began the day ranked number 3. And in the Rose Bowl, the 8th-ranked Washington Huskies have the lead over the Big Ten co-champion Iowa Hawkeyes. This one is late in the second quarter, and Don James' club is in front of Hayden Fry's team, 19-7. Coming up, we go back to the Fiesta Bowl for halftime. That's next after these messages from your local station. Arizona. In the Fiesta Bowl, the score, Louisville 25 and the Crimson Tide of Alabama 7. With the controversy surrounding the Martin Luther King holiday in Arizona, the biggest news today was the lack of any of the expected pregame protests or demonstrations outside the stadium. Only the more positive petition effort aimed at getting the proposition back on a future ballot in a different and more understandable form. Gail Gardner has been at the Fiesta Bowl all day, and we go back to her now. Gail?
All right, Bob, thank you very much. We do have a special halftime tribute coming up, and joining with me is John Junker, who's the executive director of the Fiesta Bowl. And John, I'd like to ask you, obviously the Martin Luther King situation has impacted on the entire state, and I'd like to know from your point of view in this halftime ceremonies, what pressures were brought to bear on you to deal with this in a proper sort of way?
I think most of the pressures, Gail, were really internal. We wanted to be sure that we treated this issue sensitively and made it a starting point for a 1991 that Arizonans can be proud of, so we could make a positive statement to get this state moving forward. I think we've done that today, and I think here in the stadium and across America, people will see that and agree on that.
Okay. Was there a very fine line that you had to walk here?
We wanted to make sure that we put Dr. King's contributions in perspective of a long history of American patriots who have made their contributions to American civil liberties, and we've done that today. The high emotional point of this halftime will be that, and we're very excited and very proud to have 1,500 Arizonans out there on the field doing that.
All right, it's time to take a look at that program. So we bring to you now Celebrate America.
Ladies and gentlemen, B.J. Thomas and Chuck Jackson.
With open arms reaching wide, she welcomed us inside. From different worlds, she brought us all together. With hopes and dreams, we'd have our turn, but we had much to learn. And as we grew, it wasn't all fair weather.
I know not what course others take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Patrick Henry.
But through the years of sweat and tears, one truth remained the same. Red and yellow, black and white, we're proud to share her name.
This nation shall have a new birth of freedom. This government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln.
And come the time to defend her, we'll be there hand in hand. We are the children she can count on, the heartbeat of this land. We'll be there from the cities, we'll be there from the country, yeah. Standing up for America, from sea to shining sea.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the
America with Dana Rogers and Charles Johnson.
Celebrate America, let's celebrate its mighty nation. Celebrate America from sea to shining sea.
Celebrate America, let's give three cheers for this great nation. Celebrate America, land of the free. Stand proud, America, from New York to L.A.
Stand proud, America,
Let's have a holiday.
celebrate
America, let's celebrate this mighty nation. Celebrate America, from sea to shining sea. Celebrate America, let's give three cheers for this great nation. Celebrate America, the land of the free. Come on, everybody, let's celebrate America. Come on, everybody, let's celebrate America. Let's celebrate. Come on, everybody, let's celebrate America. Come on, everybody, let's celebrate America. Celebrate America. Celebrate America.
Fiesta Bowl halftime show, Celebrate America, has been sponsored by AT&T Computer Systems and Micro-Age Computer Centers, specializing in network computing solutions for your business. Our score is Louisville 25 and Alabama 7. And Bob Costas will be back with today's scores and highlights after these messages from your local station.
Championship Tuesday continues from the Orange Bowl on NBC. Later tonight, it's the #1 ranked Colorado Buffaloes against #5 Notre Dame. Will McDonough has joined us. Now, Georgia Tech, as we know, has already beaten Nebraska. They're in position to win the national championship. If Notre Dame defeats Colorado tonight, it would appear that the Irish's chances have been eliminated by Georgia Tech's victory, and now it's just between the Buffaloes and the Yellow Jackets. But I know that you spent some time this week talking with 10 pro personnel directors from around the NFL to get their evaluations of the teams, which might be a little bit different than the AP media poll or the UPI coaches poll.
Yeah, Bob, the big difference is how they rated Georgia Tech, but you got to look at this from the eyes of pro people who are thinking strictly about talent. You know, what they did is I asked them, give me your top 10, and then I compile a tabulation. They love Colorado. That's the AP poll right there. Now, this is their poll. Love Colorado, had Notre Dame second, Miami third, okay? Notice they gave 5 of the 10 first-place votes went to Colorado. And they had Georgia Tech further down the line. But now you can see why if you look at this. 1 first-place vote for Georgia Tech, and they had Georgia Tech 6th. But again, looking at it from the prospect of talent, I said to them, how many guys in these teams, you know, Miami, Colorado, Notre Dame, these are the 3 teams that would have the most, call it, pro talent playing today, guys who would be seniors who would be drafted. Conversely, Georgia Tech, they said, had only 1 senior who they would consider a top prospect in the draft next year.
So for that reason, looking at it simply from the standpoint of who they'd be interested as pro prospects, they had Georgia Tech 6th.
That's right. And I think today what really helped is the way Clemson played. Here you are. Colorado had 9, Notre Dame 7, Miami 7, Washington 6. Georgia Tech ranked #2 in the polls. Only 1 guy that would really be considered a top prospect.
Well, in any case, the 2nd-ranked Yellow Jackets kept their national title hopes alive today by decisively beating Nebraska in the Citrus Bowl. And after the game, Coach Bobby Ross of Georgia Tech made a case for his team's championship qualifications. Here it is.
I feel like we deserve it right now, to be very honest with you. I'm not going to gloat over it or wave a flag for it or anything of that nature, but, you know, I mean, I think we've done what we had to do. I think the strength of our conference is attested by the fact, I don't know, didn't Clemson win decidedly over Illinois? You know, and I think that a lot of people have been underrating our conference a lot of the time. I'm not going to go out and wave a flag over it, but I mean, we are the only undefeated football team in the country, and we did win.
Well, O.J. Simpson has spent the day with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and earlier he caught up with some of their players at the team hotel. Here's the juice.
All right, Bob, I'm here at the room of Chris Zorich, the Lombardi Award-winning nose tackle from Notre Dame. Let's see what they're up to before the game.
Oh!
Hey, Chris, O.J.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Hey, we just cleaned up. Let's come have a seat.
Just cleaned up, huh? This is cleaning up. You're looking at a nose tackle room here, Bob. You know, you guys treat Colorado the way you treated this room. You should have no trouble. I see Mike Stonebreaker, All-American linebacker, and finalist for the Buckus Award. Now, you didn't get to play in this game last year. Did that make this game more important to you, any added significance?
Yeah, it does. You know, we want to come back. We want to play hard here. I didn't get to play last year. I was sitting in my living room watching the game, and we had a good week of practice, so I'm ready to play.
Chris, you were a thorn in this team's side last year. I remember on the sideline they couldn't run the ball up the middle. Have you watched them on film? Are they any different this year? Are they better this year than they were last year?
The biggest asset that they have now is that they have an experienced offensive line. They played very well together this year.
Do you have any thoughts about this being your last game at Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm coming back for a fifth.
Is that a new rule that they have at Notre Dame?
And no, see, as a matter of fact, I was kind of hurt my freshman year, so I'm thinking about applying again this year.
You guys don't seem too nervous about this game tonight.
We are. See?
Well, Bob, what can I tell you? That's the story here at the Notre Dame Hotel.
All right, Juice, try not to step on the cold pizza on the floor by the closet on your way out. Bob Trumpy has been with the top-ranked Colorado Buffaloes today, and he's here now in the Orange Bowl. Trump?
Thanks, Bob. The Colorado Buffaloes are in the Orange Bowl. I don't know if you believe in omens, but this is the same locker room they had last year. Bill McCartney took his team to an undisclosed hotel last night looking for a way to get away from distractions. Everything was fine except that this morning about 9:30, they had a walkthrough defensively out on the field. And coming back into the hotel, 6 of them got on an elevator. It was stuck for 20 minutes. So I don't know if any of those guys suffer from claustrophobia, but they're heading for the locker room here at the Orange Bowl, and they look serious. Robert.
All right, Trump, thanks very much. A score update still in the second quarter at the Rose Bowl. The Washington Huskies extend their lead over the Iowa Hawkeyes now to 33-7. They're getting set for the second half at the Fiesta Bowl, Louisville and Alabama. We'll be back with you just prior to the kickoff of Colorado and Notre Dame from here at the Orange Bowl. And here are the Fighting Irish arriving a few moments ago. The national championship is at stake. Not for Notre Dame realistically now, but certainly for Colorado. For now, we send you back to Charlie Jones in Tempe, Arizona.
I can't hear Chuck.
Here at the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl at halftime, the score, the Louisville Cardinals 25, the Alabama Crimson Tide 7. And now let's go down to Gail Gardner on the sideline. Gail?
All right, Charlie, thank you very much. Just want to clear up a little misconception that had taken place about the halftime show. There were a lot of things in print, a lot of people believing that the entire show was going to be devoted to the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King, and that was never the case. The Fiesta Committee had, in fact, intended to make that part of the larger show that you saw. And in general, just to wrap up what's happened here in terms of Martin Luther King and the Martin Luther King Day, there was, in fact, just one form of protest, and that had to do with the petition drive that you saw earlier today. Petition drive to get enough signatures to send to the legislature to try to enact a paid Martin Luther King Day holiday in the state of Arizona. So that's basically the Martin Luther King Day story from the Fiesta Bowl. Let's go back upstairs to Charles.
All right, thank you, Gail. One of the nice things about the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl is the weather here in Tempe, Arizona. A little bit different than we had last week, Todd, because we had a couple of days with rain and overcast. I know at the luncheon, Gene Stallings was talking about the fact that he told his youngsters, don't worry about bringing your umbrellas, don't bring your rain gear. And he said, well, I was dead wrong. But it certainly has turned out to be a beautiful day.
Yes, it has. You know, it was anything but the Valley of the Sun the last couple of days, but right now it looks good. And of course, especially for Louisville, the sun is really shining bright.
And I'm just wondering, as we have a few moments before the kickoff of the second half, how everybody in our audience spent New Year's Eve. How did you spend New Year's Eve last night?
Well, I spent New Year's Eve very relaxed. You know, we had a meeting. I watched a little Monday Night Football, got myself something to eat, and because of the fact that I had helped my son with his papers early yesterday morning, I was really tired, so I actually fell asleep before midnight.
Well, I did manage to make it to midnight, and I stepped out on the balcony overlooking the gorgeous Tempe, Phoenix area, the Valley of the Sun. It was a clear, beautiful night with the stars shining and the moon out, and you could hear the celebrations and the horns honking and the fireworks. And then I went to bed.
And you know what? It figures that you'd get the room with the view.
That's right.
Seniority once again.
All right, now let's get back to football and a couple of highlights out of the first half. And the highlights are all going to be the Louisville Cardinals, because they certainly did dominate play.
Well, of course, particularly Browning Nagel. He just had the half of his life throwing for 275 yards. It seems like everything that he threw was in the arms of receivers. Touchdowns. We get a chance to see Cummings going to the post literally and figuratively right here. Take a look at the safety vacating the middle of the field. Here he comes. And Nagel leads him perfectly. Look at how he barely even breaks stride. Catching it right on the 5, and then the 5 catches the post right here. Thank goodness for that padding, and Cummings is okay.
And at that point, the Cardinals went up by a score of 19-0. And again, this youngster Nagel, and Howard Stellenberg, the head coach of Louisville, talked to us about this. He said, if I would have had him for 4 years, he was at West Virginia for a couple of years, and they changed from a passing team to an option team, and so he came to Louisville, who had recruited him earlier. Schnellenberger said, if I had had him for 4 years, they would know about him just like they knew about Jim Kelly when he had him in Miami.
Truthfully, when he said that, I was very cynical. Yeah. You know, coaches are prone to hyperbole, but after watching this first half, I might agree with you.
Yeah, I think that you have to agree with him over what he's done the first half. Howard Stellenberger, he has turned a program around in the last 5.5 years. When he came to Louisville, even Gene Stallings said it was the worst football program in the nation. And now he was here, and what does he do that moment in the locker room before they come out in the biggest ball game in the history of Louisville? Let's listen in. This was taped just before the ball game.
Any idea the strength that's down inside this football team? They don't have any idea.
No way.
They don't have any idea what you put into this thing. They don't have any idea that it means more to you than it does to them. They don't have any idea what it means to them. That's fine. Now there comes the time to play. The beauty of it is you're trained to do it, you're proficient at it, you're experienced at it, you've done it. Relax, go out and turn it loose. Relax, go out and turn it loose. Do that just like you've done it. The end will take care of itself. If you ever think about the score, first play is the last.
Last go around. Come on.
Think about the next play.
Don't you love that voice? It's like at the bottom of the barrel. Now, in the first part of the ball game, we talked about the tradition versus the dream. The tradition of Alabama, they expect to come to a bowl game. They almost always come to a bowl game. They've been to more bowl games than any other college in the history of football in the United States. Now, for Louisville, it's a dream. A dream, and right now the dream is winning.
Well, you know what? I don't think there's any doubt about it. You know, for Alabama, this is just another bowl game. This is the 33rd in the last 34 years for Alabama to be in a bowl game. For Louisville, this is the first. They've only been to 3 bowl games in their history, and this is the first time in the last 13 years. So as the first half would indicate, clearly this means a heck of a lot more to Louisville than it does to Alabama.
But from Alabama's side, now they do have their tradition. And this year, it did not bode well at the beginning of the season. They opened 0-3. Gene Stallings said, you would be amazed at the number of suggestions that I had. You would think that I didn't even go to practice, that I did not know who to play. And then they turned that program around, and now I have a feeling that during halftime, they will make another turn, and Alabama will get right back to the ballgame in the second half.
I think one of the things that Gene Stallings said to us that I thought was very poignant is he said that unlike a lot of the other coaches after Bear Bryant, he is not afraid of Bear Bryant's shadow. And clearly he showed that after going 0-3. He could have given up the ship. He could have complained about the fact that, hey, where's all the talent that Alabama is used to? Where's this tradition? Where are the hard-nosed people? But he didn't. They stuck it out. They won 7 of the last 8 games, and it's a credit to him and the Alabama organization that they're here today.
And another thing about the Alabama organization is that when you take a look at all the youngsters that they have here, and they've brought more than 100 players, is that almost 70% of them are from the state of Alabama. And that is different than almost any other program in the nation. And another thing about the Alabama organization is that when you take a look at all the youngsters that they have here, and they've brought more than 100 players, is that almost 70% of them are from the state of Alabama. And that is different than almost any other program in the nation.
And that's a lot of credit to Gene Stallings, and I think that the key for him this particular year was in defeating Auburn. Now it's going to help him in the recruiting phase, but now he can get even more of those kids.
Meanwhile, Louisville continues to upgrade their program. We'll take a look at the future schedules just to give you an idea. This is the 1990 schedule, the one they finished. Missouri State, Kansas, Tulsa, Memphis State, Western Kentucky, Cincinnati, Boston College. And now the teams that they will be facing in the future: Tennessee, Ohio State, Florida State, Arizona State, Syracuse, Florida, and Virginia. So it becomes an ongoing process of what Howard Schnellenberger and organization have done at Louisville.
Well, one of the things that we didn't mention at the outset is it was Ted Washington who came up with a great idea. You know, their record was 9-1-1, and so the clever thing that he had was he said, dial 911. Well, a lot of people said, yeah, big deal. Look at who you beat to get 9-1-1. Play some teams. Well, as indicated by what we just saw there in the schedule over the next 2-3 years, they will play some real teams and show that they're for real, just as they're doing today, I believe.
And they certainly have indicated that in the first half, because it has been this man, number 7, Browning Nagel, who has completely dominated the first half. 12 of 20, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And if before the first day of 1991 you had not heard of this college quarterback, believe me, after this day is over, not only will you have heard about him, but so will all of the scouts in the National Football League.
You know, it's funny, Charlie, when I had a chance to talk with him a little bit away from all the natural interviews and the things that are, or I should say the unnatural interviews and the forced, contrived things that the media puts on them, he says, hey, Todd, he says, what are the teams around the league, the NFL, that really need a quarterback? I mean, he really wanted to know. So we went over him, and of course, I'm kind of patronizing him, saying to myself, yeah, right, Browning, sure, you're going to get drafted. I tell you what, if there are some pro scouts that are in the stands today, their eyes have been awakened to the reality of this young man's arm. This man has a gun.
Well, they said that. You know, one of the things they said is that now he can, on one knee, throw the ball 70 yards in the air. They've had some contests with some of the coaches. He has that kind of an arm, and we saw it, a couple of flashes of it where he wasn't particularly on balance, but he didn't have to step forward, and he just kind of flicks it 40 or 50 yards downfield.
Well, I don't want to get caught up too much in his arm strength. That's a given. No, but I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, he does have, he's got a bazooka. But the thing that he also does is that he rolls out. He showed us some great feet, some quick feet, and he also sees the second, third, and fourth receivers, which is, I think, crucial to the success of a quarterback, particularly in the National Football League.
Now, Nagel's career best is 374 yards in a ball game. That was against Tulsa in 1989, and he will be gunning for that personal high. But more so than that, he is gunning for the victory in what this is only the 4th bowl appearance by Louisville. In 1958, they won in the Sun Bowl, defeating Drake. In 1970, remember the Pasadena Bowl? They tied Long Beach. And in 1977, they lost to Louisiana Tech in the Independence Bowl. So their bowl record is 1-1-1. But now, I think that what they have shown already has established them as a power in the collegiate ranks, because it's certainly going to help in their recruiting.
Well, Howard Schnellenberger, when he got up on the dais for our Sun-Kissed Fiesta Bowl luncheon, one of the first things he said was that he wanted to thank Gene Stallings for coming here and affording Louisville the opportunity. And at the time, I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, that's what coaches have to say, right? But in reality, I think that's what he meant. For giving them a chance to take on the tradition of an Alabama really bodes well for the success of the program there in Louisville. And Howard Schnellenberger has to be extremely happy the way things have gone thus far.
Just taking a look at him here.
He looks like a football coach.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he just does.
And you know, it's hard to recognize it though without the pipe. And he has a special Cardinal blend of tobacco. I tell you, the man has it all going for him.
Yeah, well, that's all well and good. I just want to be in the same room with him when he's smoking. There it is. What is it now called? Go ahead, come on. You said. I said you could keep it.
No, I give it back.
Come on, say it.
No.
The Louisville Lindy.
And Ron Bell will be kicking off as we
he looks like a
start
linebacker.
He is a linebacker. And watch him. He'll go down and he'll make the tackle too. And here's Lorenzo Cole on the return to the 24-yard line. Joey Smith makes the tackle. And the numbers for Gary Hollingsworth in the first half, very modest compared to Brownie Nagel. 9 of 19, 56 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Had a chance to visit with him after practice the other day. And it's been a very tough year for him because last year, a year ago, now 2 years ago because we're in 91, he had a great season. He was expecting great things of himself and as a team. But as we documented the first half, you know, he lost his key running back, 2 great receivers, and an offensive lineman. And that makes it tough for a quarterback. He hands off to Junior Sewell, who goes to the 30, has 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 as McFadden makes the tackle.
Well, it just goes to show that it's very true. The quarterback gets too much of the blame and the quarterback gets too much of the credit. Certainly in 1989, everybody was caught up in what Hollingsworth had done, but in reality, he had a lot of people around him. Now, clearly that was the case. And of course, the tendency in 1990 is to say, look at that, it's Hollingsworth's fault. He's the guy that's having the problems, but hey, you know, his supporting cast has a lot to do with that.
And there's the comparison of 89 to 90. Junior Sewell. He'll get a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3. Ted Washington and Mike Flores team up for the tackle for the Louisville Cardinals. And you saw Hollingsworth just glancing at his wrist again. The numbering system is flashed into him. If it's play number 14, like his number on the jersey, he goes down, looks 14, and he's got it, makes the call. And they can use up to 99 plays with a numbering system, the way they flash the numbers in. Dan Gangworth of Fremont, Ohio, was there for the Cardinal defense, and he just stood up Junior Sewell.
Well, there's a lot to be said for getting stuck in a rut. I know that prior to this game, Alabama had been very conservative offensively, but here you are down 18 points. You have a third and 5, and you go to your fullback in the middle. I don't understand that.
Joey Smith at the 30-yard line. 35. Has about 11 yards on the return to the 41-yard line.
10-yard return.
Craig Harris makes the tackle, 40 yards on the kick, 11 yards on the return. 13-10 is the time remaining in the third quarter.
The Sunkist family of fresh citrus. It's the highest in quality. You have our word on it. By Interstate Batteries, now #1 with over 180,000 dealers across the U.S. and Canada. By the Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by Domino's Pizza. Hot, fresh, delicious pan pizza. Domino's Pan Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Louisville's first opportunity in the second half. Nagel scrambles and throws. The pass is complete to AC, but he was past the line of scrimmage. If it would stand, it'd be 59 yards. And meanwhile, Browning Nagel is arguing his case back at the 41-yard line, and he is going to lose that argument. He was past the line of scrimmage.
The side judge did an excellent job of putting down his beanbag right where Browning Nagel stood and threw the ball. That's a good call by the official there. Browning Nagel didn't get robbed.
The linesman is A.B. Elliott, and the line judge is Edwin Jackson. The referee is Dale Phillips. And this will make it official. Up, turn it on. Good. Oh, the battery's dead. Lost him down. Second down.
It's right on the line is where it is. Let's see where he ends up. Right at about the 35. Now watch where he scrambles. Where does this ball come out? Excuse me, at the 40-yard line. Now it's where he ends up. Oh, my
that
goodness.
Is closer from that angle.
It's where his feet ended up.
I still think it's a good call, and I'll tell you why I think it's a good call. Because when he threw it, I immediately looked at the down marker, and he was past it. And that's, you know, that's just that's the angle from the end.
Well, of course, the argument on that point would be that they would say that it's where he threw it and not where he ended up, but you got a point.
There it is, Lipsy. Lipsy to the 50, the 45, the 40-yard line. At the Alabama 40, a gain of 24 yards, first down.
You know what's impressive about Browning-Nagle is once again Alabama tries to blitz him, but he picks it up right away and he gets to his blitz control guy, which is Lipsy. Makes a nice cut right there, breaking the tackle of Teague. Cuts up the field for the extra yardage, a 24-yard gain.
And Louisville with the ball at the Alabama 40-yard line. Lipsy, a slasher type of runner, and he is the one that the Cardinals will use in short yardage if they want him to go over the top.
Go, cut back. Go, baby, go.
And here's Lipsy, and a flag is down. Steve Webb with the tackle.
You're going to hold somebody, make sure it's in the middle. Pete Berkey was totally exposed to the referee, and he grabbed the foot of George Thornton, and the referee saw it.
Well, holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the mic working. 12:25, time remaining, third quarter. It's Louisville 25 and Alabama 7. Louisville scored all 25 points in the first quarter, and they led 25-0 at the end of the first period.
Alabama had a chance to get back into it after Gardner ran back the interception for a touchdown during the two series when Braum was quarterback. They certainly could have had the momentum go their way and do some different things, but they weren't able to capitalize after that. And now Louisville's got their main man back at the controls, right at 300 yards passing for the day.
First and 20 at the 50-yard line.
Hold him out, hold him out, twist.
Nagle, only a three-man rush by Alabama, has to dump it off to Dawkins. And he's not going to make anything. Ephraim Thomas with a stop.
Big hit by Thomas, moves him backwards.
Second and 20, and again Alabama using that three-man rush that has been so successful.
Part of the problem, though, Charlie, is they haven't been able to get to him. If they were going to get to him, I'd say it's a good strategy, but so far they haven't really been able to pressure Browning-Nagle, and he's been able to find the open receiver.
And he fires on target to McKay, and McKay to the 15-yard line. 35 yards, Gardner with the tackle.
Exactly what happened there. They rushed with three people, and they go back into their zones. And McKay is able to find the seam right in the middle. Take a look at the cavern right in the middle that Browning-Nagle sees. Look at him rifle that ball. McKay with a nice catch, cuts up the field. Shows good speed for a tight end. Yeah, he does remind me of me. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
He was thrilled to visit with you. Boy, he is something else. Very, very smart young man. Interesting. Sounds a little bit like a coach. I kept saying that he was programmed by a computer.
Sounds to me like a psychologist or a physician.
I think you're
very
right.
bright.
Yes, he is. Here's Dawkins. And Dawkins is taken out at the 9-yard line.
The flag down to the play.
Back at the 15 on the near side. Derek Oden with the tackle. And Dawkins slow to get up. Well, he's still down. And here is Ralph Dawkins, the freshman from Jacksonville, 5'9", 207 pounds.
He's been doing yeoman's work today. He's really provided a lot of the rushing yards for the Louisville Cardinals.
We'll take a look to see what happened to him. He's very shy off of the field, but on the field, he's a real cheerleader.
Can't be a
little procedure on the offense.
If you saw the left foot when it planted right that, it also caught his knee as well. It was an awkward way. All the weight was on his right foot. That's painful.
We have an injury timeout. The score, Louisville 25 and Alabama 7. At the 20-yard line. And we have some jumping by an Alabama lineman, but no flag.
He got him.
And here is where for a yard, and that's going to be about it. Ralph Dawkins was assisted to, now an Alabama player is down. Ralph Dawkins was assisted to the sideline and is being worked on the Louisville bench. And this is Byron Holbrooks who's down. There's Dawkins. He, by the way, is the first freshman to ever lead Louisville in rushing. And let's go back now and see if we can see what happened to Holbrooks.
There he is lining up at the left tackle. That looked like offsides there.
Yes.
Take a look at the legs right here. Well, you can't tell from that. It doesn't look like anything really happened, but.
No, but Robert Stewart really got a jump, and they didn't drop a flag. Let's go down to Tom Hammonds, huh?
Charlie, no mood of panic in the Alabama locker room at halftime. It was interesting, though, that they made no major adjustments to their defense, which was riddled in that first half. They simply talked about executing their present scheme, and it looks like more of the same. Louisville has moved the ball to start the second half. Charlie?
Tom, is that a Christmas tie?
It depends on which Christmas we're observing here. In the Far East, purple ties are big.
You look very dapper.
Thank you, sir.
You look very dapper. We've got 10 minutes and 37 seconds left to go. We're in the third quarter in a ball game that has been dominated by this man, Browning Nagel.
And I don't understand that. Why wouldn't they adjust their defense? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, they just got shelled for something like 250 yards in the first half. A defense that was supposed to be first in the nation against the pass. That's got to tell you that something isn't working right. You got to make some adjustments.
Holbrooks being assisted on. And there's the national ranking coming into the ball game with the Crimson Tide. Third overall, 6 against rushing, first against the pass. Second and 14. Nagel, a pump fake, goes to the end zone to AC. And Cummings has his second touchdown of the ball game. 19 yards. His 12th of the season.
Boy, he is something. Corner route, just makes a nice move. It's actually not that bad a coverage. He has Teague there by a step. Pump fake, and he lofts it right up. Nice soft touch right here. Look at Teague, just misses it. Right on the end line. Terrific throw. Nice catch, too, by AC.
The extra point attempt by Bell. 32-7 Louisville. Ron Bell, who kicked the extra point, will be kicking off. 10-17 time remaining in the third. Louisville 32 and Alabama 7. As the Cardinal offense just continues to roll this afternoon in Tempe. And he returns to the 25-yard line where Ricky McFadden makes the tackle. AC Anthony Cummings continues to set
Boy, you are
Louisville records. Look at this. Now, this is his career. Now, 103 receptions, 27 touchdowns. And it just gets bigger and bigger, and he stands a lot of time left. He's not only lucky, he's good.
Well, I'm afraid to talk now because I'm afraid I'm going to screech. So I'll let you have that.
Alabama first down at their own 25-yard line. Hollingsworth pass is complete to Steve Buskey. And he goes out of bounds, stopping the clock with 10:05 to go in the third.
Seems only appropriate that after we showed all the statistics regarding Alabama's defense that we notice the discrepancy now in yardage between the two teams. Louisville's total offense at this point 444 yards versus Alabama's 118. Once again, another statistic that doesn't lie.
And there's the Cardinals. 2nd down and 7 with a Tide at their own 28-yard line.
Once again, the Cardinal with the tee. Man, scary stuff.
And a wearing, of course, the number 91 for the new year. And the pass, they're going to call pass interference. I'm going to question this. Anderson, the intended receiver, they're going to call it on McFadden. I don't think that ball was catchable.
No, it wasn't. Is that one of the arguments that they have on the collegiate level, however?
You may be right.
Because he's never, he never had the opportunity to catch the ball. And so at this point in the game, I say make the call.
You always side with authority.
Well, I always side with authority. Man.
We have pass interference on the defense. That's a spot foul. First down.
Now, I can't believe I'm having to take that from the ultimate company man. Watch as the ball comes in the air and he gets hit way before the ball's even there. You never know if he could have caught it or not.
That's true. It's a good call.
Got to give him a chance to jump up and catch it. Good call by the officials.
It is marked at the spot of the foul, which is the 31-yard line, and an automatic first down. In college ball, if the foul is inside of 15 yards of the line of scrimmage, it's the spot of the foul first down. Outside of 15 yards, it's a 15-yard penalty and a first down. And straight at the middle is Kevin Turner. Mark Sander with the tackle. And unofficially we have that, or officially we have that as his 2nd tackle of the ballgame. He needs one more to break the record of
Delcom Buffone, number 55 for the Chicago Bears, one of the great linebackers there, the monster of the Midway days.
2nd down and 4. That, of course, would be a school record. Here is Turner up the middle, and he's brought down at the Louisville 48-yard line.
Yeah, I like the way Kevin Turner's been running today. He's had a couple of runs like that where he's taken a lot of tacklers with him.
Buchanan and friends making the stop.
Took 3-4 guys to get him down.
Gain of 14 and a first down at the Louisville 48-yard line. Kevin Turner is now 41 yards rushing and 5 carries. Averaging 4.1 per carry during the season. Pump fake, and the pass is incomplete. Now let's go down the sidelines and Tom Hammond. Tom?
Update you on the injuries, Charlie. Holbrooks of Alabama has bruised his right elbow. He'll return. And Dawkins of Louisville twisted his right knee. He tested a little bit here on the sideline. It's okay. He's going to go back in, too. And, Todd, no, you cannot borrow the tie for the studio show next week.
Thank you, Don.
Well, I tell you what, these people, you know what? I think working with Joe Namath, he's got an attitude. That's what I think. Kind of an elitist thing. It does look nice, though. I got to confess. I got to say good things about it. It's a happening time. Very royal colors.
2nd down. And the pass is incomplete to Martin Houston. And it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Now, why would he be that stubborn about his haberdasher, do you suppose?
I don't know. Let's get back to the ballgame. Why is Alabama so stubborn with an offense that does not go deep?
Well, it's kind of like habit. If you don't practice it during other games, it's not like you can all of a sudden create it in a bowl game. It's like the old, oh, well, I know you're going to look forward to this one. It's like what Bum Phillips used to say, you dance with who brung you.
That's right. 3rd down and 10. Nebraska had this problem last year with Florida State. The flag is down. The pass is complete to Lassick. He's going to end up losing a yard or so. And we got the flag to check out as Derek Hawthorne made the stop. Hawthorne, number 45 for the Cardinals, next week will try to become a walk-on for their basketball team.
Oh, that's interesting. 2-sport star, huh? I think that they're trying so hard to keep Mike Flores out of the pass rush that they put the clamps on him. So I would assume that Louisville's going to refuse this one and go to 4th down, that is.
We have holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still be 3rd down.
I'm surprised they don't just refuse it.
I don't understand that either.
Yes.
I wonder what Schnellenberger's thinking of there. Field position, possibly?
Could be. His defense is playing so well. Alabama's offense continues to struggle. They trail 32-7. What has been Alabama's worst loss in a bowl game? 1972 Orange Bowl, and they lost to Nebraska 38-6.
Big difference there, though, was that Nebraska was the national champion that year. That was the Johnny Rogers era, the Rich Glovers, the Jerry Taggies, the Jeff Kinneys.
I'll tell you something, Louisville is playing as well as the national championship team could expect to play in a major bowl game. Hollingsworth goes deep, his receiver falls down, and he's overthrown. Jamon Russell slipped and fell at about the 38-yard line, and so for one of the few times that the Crimson Tide have aired it out to go deep, the receiver falls down.
But Charlie, that paint is slippery, and his cleats weren't able to dig into the paint, and that's the result. He cuts off the outside foot and slips and falls.
Tank Williamson and Joey Smith is the returner. He nails this one back to the 11. Good coverage for Alabama, and Louisville will have the ball at their own 15-yard line following that 47-yard kick. We'll be back in just a moment. Alabama 7, 8:14 time remaining in the third. This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, Tom Hammond, Gail Gardner also here for our coverage as Ware jumps to the outside, and he is then brought down at the 22-yard line. So you pick up 7, and it's going to be second down and 3 as McMillan and Ephraim Thomas make the tackle. This is Championship Tuesday on NBC. Let's take a look at the bowl games today. There have been a lot of, well, before we do, hold it just a second. The average of the 6 New Year Day bowl games is 37-7. And we have to get back to play here. We'll come back and talk about that in a moment, because again, Louisville is going without the huddle. Where to the right side is they're trying to keep the Alabama defensive secondary from changing on. And now let's go back. You have a theory on the blowouts on bowl day.
Well, I think what happens a lot of times is that some of the major powers who are not involved, say for instance like an Alabama or Penn State who has played well during the season, if they're not involved in a national championship, the bowl game can be secondary. You know, just what they did in the season. For instance, today we look at Alabama. Alabama's season really had been Auburn. You know, they hadn't beaten Auburn over the last 4 years, and so finally they get a chance. They defeat Auburn. That's a big deal. But now this game to them is anticlimactic, where on the other side of the ledger for Louisville, obviously it isn't. And so a lot of times bowl games for, if you notice the teams that are getting blown out, for instance, Nebraska, another example today, is another team who the bowl game is just part of the season to them. It's not that big of a deal.
And in the opening of the telecast, you said that emotions can play such a big part in a bowl game, and you're right, they have played that here.
Well, you got a shot there of Howard Schnellenberger, Charlie, and we heard him there in the locker room say there's no way they could know how it means so much more to us than it does to them.
The pass is complete at the 35. It'll be a first down. And let's go down to the sideline and Tom Hammond. Tom?
Charlie, we're with Saran Stacey. Alabama hasn't scored an offensive touchdown today. It's obvious they've missed this man all season. He was injured in the first game, preseason All-American. Saran, you're eligible for a medical red shirt to come back another year. Have you decided what you'll do?
I have not, present at the time, decided if I'm going to come back and play another year or not. Right now, I think the best thing for me to do is, rehab my knee back to its full potential.
How far are you from getting it back?
I'm about 85 to 90% right now, so I'm not far from it.
When will you make your decision?
Sometime in the spring. I'll still be in school, and I have more time to think.
And Nagel goes deep, and it is incomplete. Mark McMillan almost had the interception.
And boy, did Nagel take a shot from Eric Curry. 6'6" and about 260 pounds, just leveled him. Nice job by McMillan there. He's got him in coverage, turns him all the way around. One of the few bad passes he's thrown. Certainly catchable. Take a look on the other side though. Look at this shot that Nagel takes. Yow! Man, oh man, that's a big body catching you right into the chin.
As we come back, Bynum is stopped at around the 37-yard line. Stewart and Curry for Alabama.
Getting back to the thing with regards to Saran Stacey, I would guess that man right there is probably going to have a couple of long talks with Saran Stacey over the next couple of months saying, please, we would certainly like to have your 1,000-yard rushing back for us in 1991.
And I believe really to stay in school, get the education, get the degree, and then move into the professional ranks, so you always have that part of your education, because it is so hard to come back and get it.
Well, plus the fact, even if he does declare for the draft, what the people are going to say is, yeah, you had 1,000 yards, but that was 2 years ago. You know, what have you done for me lately? And I think that he has to reestablish himself and show that his knee is completely healthy with another year at Alabama.
Third down and 8. Pressure from the outside. Going deep to AC. Can't get there. One of the few times in the game that Alabama is blessed.
Well, Anthony Cummings just puts it in another gear right there. He gets separation. The ball's thrown just a little bit too far. Had a shot at it. That was thrown about 60 yards in the air, Charlie.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer is punting.
I got to tell you a story interesting about Klaus Wilmsmeyer. In the offseason, he had a chat with a Louisville native that I think many people are familiar with by the name of Paul Hornick. And he asked him, how can I improve my kicking? And he says, practice kicking into the wind. And this season, he has averaged 43 yards a punt, which is an excellent average.
Anderson with the fair catch bobbles it, and then he recovers it. 46 yards on the kick. The score from their own 17-yard line, and they have a change at quarterback, and he is sacked. Danny Woodson now the quarterback. And Mel Mills got it. So Woodson, who has completed on the year just 2 of 11 and has rushed for 96 yards, is now the quarterback, and he has dropped. Here's another look.
Well, this is a rude greeting. Just comes right around the blocker, and ouch. Welcome to the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, Mr. Woodson.
And we're back at the 8-yard line. And it is 2nd and 19. And he steps forward, avoids the sack. He's to the 10, the 15, cuts inside, brought down at the 21-yard line. Reggie Johnson got him after a gain of 13, so it'll be 3rd down and 6.
I like the way he runs. Gene Stallings might want to consider going to the wishbone with this young man. Fading back, he doesn't see anybody downfield, and he's one of those people that appears that can make things happen. Cuts to the outside. Nice little move there. Now watch him make these people miss. Boink. Nice cut there. Sweet feet. Once again. Ooh. It's nice.
Woodson, the junior from Mobile, Alabama. 3rd down and 6. Pressure from the backside, steps forward, throws on target. 1st down to Derek Lassick. Blackford with the tackle, and all of a sudden the youngster has sparked the offense of the Crimson Tide as they pick up 15 and convert on 3rd down and 6.
This is a good time to put him in too. He's in a no-lose situation. They're down 32-7. But what I liked about that last play was when he steps up in the pocket. So many times a young quarterback has the tendency to just take off. He took 2 steps up and found the receiver downfield. That was a heads-up play by Danny Woodson.
Here comes a full blitz, and the handoff inside to Kevin Turner. And Turner takes the group with him before Reggie Johnson brings him down at the 42. So he has 7, and it is 2nd down and 3.
7 yards. 2nd and 3.
You might take a look at that offensive right tackle for Alabama, number 70, all Southeast Conference, Terrell Chapman at 6'4", 335 pounds. And he said when he came to Arizona that he wanted to ride a horse.
Yeah, right.
He did. And they said it's got to be a big horse, and none of the horses volunteered.
No, I guarantee that, unless it was a swayback.
They stayed in the barn. Woodson scrambles around the corner, and then out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
I like what the pro scouts call his escapability. It looked like they had him for a sack, but he knifes out of there and shows some good quickness.
Johnson Hayes finally stopped him. Here's another look.
Once again, looking downfield, coming up left and right. Now he sprints to the sidelines, keeps it in his left hand. That's a mistake, but that's okay because he gets a lot of yardage there. Got to learn to slide, though, and get down. Quarterbacks are too valuable. Get down there. Don't give him a full shot, especially when you're that close to the sidelines.
And Beverly Stellenberger, the earlier interview that Tom Hammond with her, he pointed out that she is a former cheerleader. Well, she's back cheerleading again for Louisville.
Please, no waves.
There's pressure. He is dumped. The ball pops loose. It is a fumble. And Alabama recovers it. Was it Trent Patterson that got it for the Tide?
Dan Gangwer was the one with a big hit.
He's really been playing well.
And you can see as he pounds the ground, Trent Patterson's not happy with himself. Inevitably, the offensive lineman that recovers the fumble is usually the man who gets past. And sure enough, that's what it is. You can see him pounding the ground because it's his man that gets through. He's able to come through and make the recovery, but of course, that's a downer with the big loss.
Back to the 36-yard line. 2nd and 24. But Woodson has put some spark into the offense of Alabama. Moving on the 2-minute mark, time remaining in the 3rd. Over the middle, and it is completed. The 43 of Louisville to Derek Lassett.
They got a nice thing going there. He gets behind the zone. That was a nice throw, too. Twice in a row. I was going to say twice in a row they have that combination. He's looking at him all the way, waiting for him to cut right there, right behind. Sander makes the dive earlier in the game. He made a big play, but not this time. Good throw by Woodson.
And good for 21 yards, so it's 3rd down and 3. Pass is incomplete to Russell. Russell had not looked around. There was some kind of miscommunication. What happened?
Definitely. I think what happens in that situation is that the quarterback looks out, and if he gets press coverage or if he gets the man right on top of him, he runs the up. If he plays off, he might hook. Danny Woodson anticipated he was going to hook, and obviously he didn't.
4th down and 3. And with 1:19 to go in the 3rd and down, 32-7, Alabama will go for it. Louisville is expecting the pass. They rush 3. Woodson steps forward. He's got the 1st down inside the 30. A great move at the 30-yard line. He goes to the 13. 30 yards. And remember, that was 4th and 3. Sander and Gaines on the tackle.
When you have somebody that runs this well, he's always a weapon. He reminds me just a little bit, maybe it's the number of Randall Cunningham. Look at the long strides. Now look at the block in the middle of the field, just right there by Steve Buskey to enable him to get that extra yardage. And the way he runs upright, he does remind me a little bit of Cunningham, doesn't he? Well, he reminds me. What? Come on, I'm looking at you to say you agree with me.
He has that same game-breaking ability. I was searching for those words. I wanted to say it just the right way.
Well, certainly it's unfair to compare somebody at this point of his career with Randall Cunningham, but
why not?
The number...
What's unfair about it?
Number 12, you know, the way he runs upright, and as opposed to mincing little strides, he's got those long strides.
I mean, and he is quick, too.
I'm telling you.
He is quick. Be sure to stay with us here on NBC Sports Today for more great College Bowl action. Coming up next, the primetime showdown in Miami. The Federal Express Orange Bowl, number 1, the Colorado Buffaloes. And they'll be going against 5th-ranked Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and their Heisman Trophy runner-up, the Rocket himself. And it will be the battle to determine the national championship. That's all coming up next here on NBC. And today, one thing that has been determined is that Louisville's program is on track towards the future national championship. They have really played well.
And for the young people out there in Kentucky who are watching this game vacillating as to where to go to school now, this could make a big difference and certainly would be an influence on their decision.
At the 13, 1st down. Junior Sewell, the ball carrier. William Blackford with the tackle.
Junior Sewell was the young man that went 64 yards against Auburn to ignite that offense and help them to their 16-7 victory over Auburn. But today he hasn't been able to do quite the same thing. Of course, that's a lot to ask.
6'1", 232 pounds. He's a good one. We had a nice visit with him after practice. 2nd and 5 at the 8-yard line. Here is Anderson, and he's been pretty well shut down today, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. Mike Flory with the tackle. We've been talking about the job that Howard Schnellenberger has done in Louisville. Todd, this would just give you an idea. Here it is.
Well, initially, and obviously in those first 3 years, he struggled with a .250 winning percentage. Look at what he's done there over the last 3. 23, 9, and 1. And now, as we mentioned before, his first bowl game in 13 years.
Into the third quarter. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Fourth quarter, Alabama trails 32-7, and they have a third down just outside the 10 of Louisville. Incomplete in the end zone. Woodson throwing to Lamont Russell. Russell, the tight end of the decade for Alabama.
It would go to figure that Ray Buchanan would be the one to make the play. The big play man in the secondary lunges out there, takes a sure touchdown away from Lamont Russell. Way to give up your body, young man. Nice play.
It'll be 4th down and 8, just inside the 11-yard line. I mentioned that Chris Anderson, the tailback, had been pretty well taken out of the Alabama offense. He has only 26 yards rushing and 7 carries. But now the Tide has to throw the ball. Woodson races for the corner. He will go to the 4-yard line, which is going to be close to the first down.
Well, he went all over the field there. It appeared from my vantage point that he got the first, but so much is dependent upon this mark. Great effort by Woodson. And he looked to me like he paid for it. I think he might have landed on the football. When he knifed inside the one tackler and he fell down on his stomach, obviously he had the ball tucked in, and I think that's where it was. Look at that. People trying to pull him up. He says, no, 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 wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me get my bearings.
And there is the mark and the measurement. And Louisville takes over on down.
I don't know about that spot. It looked to me from where I was, he was inside the 4, but too late now.
We've got a timeout, and Louisville has the lead.
Brought to you by the Sunkist family of fresh citrus. It's the highest in quality. You have our word on it. By Tylenol Cold. Nobody cares for your cold like Tylenol Cold. By Ultra Slim Fast, a delicious, healthy way to lose weight. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, Tom Hammond, the 20th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl with 14:44 left to go in the 4th. Louisville 32, Alabama 7. And a game that could well go down in the history of this great bowl as one of its biggest upsets. Nagel going deep. It is there, complete to Fred Jones, and he is caught at the 29-yard line of Alabama. 67 yards.
Well, Fred Jones just flat runs past Stacey Harrison. I don't know what happened here, if they had double coverage in the zone, but whatever it wasn't there. And McMillan is going to have to run him down. Browning Nagel obviously excited about it. Nice call inside the 5. Play action fake throws him.
Nagel has now thrown for 431 yards.
It's a career high. Like I said, I keep reiterating the same point, but there's no way he could have dreamed of it being this good.
Get out, let's see.
And breaking inside
Ball carrier
is Curtis Lipsky. And Stacey Harrison and Bragg Rockwell make the tackle. The ball at the 15-yard line. $13:50 and counting. Time remaining in the ball game, and again, the Louisville offensive machine operating on all cylinders. Nagel. Oh, he's a strong kid, too. They just don't bring him down. The 431 yards that Nagel has thrown for is a new Sunkist Fiesta Bowl record. The old record, he's limping just a bit, the old record was 422 yards, set last year by Peter Tom Willis of Florida State.
Well, in the meantime, George Thornton has had back-to-back tackles for losses. The third-team All-American selection for Alabama. One of their definite pro prospects. Can't be too happy, though, the way things are going today.
He told us after practice on Friday, he said it'll be a physical ball game. I don't think that he realized it was going to be this one-sided as far as the physical portion was concerned. At least the scoring was concerned.
Well, he'll have another day.
We have offsides on the defense, a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Gene Stallings, when we talked to him about his pro prospects, was very high on George Thornton, that he thought that he could play inside of the National Football League, play defensive tackle, be a run stopper, be that sort of player. He certainly has the girth for it.
The referee for today's Sunkist Fiesta Bowl is Dale Phillips. There's Dale. And he has a son who's in the military that is currently in the Mideast. And he is in Saudi Arabia. Nagel throws complete at the 5-yard line to Ken McKay, and he adds 50 more to that total, so he's now thrown for 446 yards.
What a terrific game Kenny McKay is having. Howard Schnellenberger told us that in so many times the strong side passing the tight end is the first read. Kenny McKay is having himself a terrific day today.
And again, we've mentioned a couple times Howard Schnellenberger comparing Brownie Nagel to Jim Kelly, and we said, you know, that's okay, but he has looked as good as Jim Kelly could possibly look. Strong arm, he's been more mobile than they thought, and he does gamble. He has that riverboat gambler attitude.
And the way things are going today, they might start comparing Kenny McKay to Keith Jackson too.
That's true. Whistle sound.
Now here I go talking about how great Kenny McKay is, and he jumps off sides. Never fails. Kenny McKay moved too quickly there at the left tight end spot.
We have a dead ball. False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Interesting replay.
And not only, of course, is the Fiesta Bowl record falling, but the Louisville record also falls.
I would have thought that Johnny Unitas would have had that record.
No.
393 yards
Ed
by
Rubbert.
Ed. Is it Rubbert or Rubert?
Rubert or Rubbert? Rubert or Rubbert? Huh? Rubert? Rubert. Ed Rubert. 1984 against Murray State. Curtis Lipsy. Derek Oden with the tackle. Ephraim Thomas is there. Still a lot of time to go in the ball game.
Charlie, I've been noticing the Browning Bengals, but look at him, he's limping a little bit right now. I mean, he set the records, they're way ahead. I don't know why he should still be out there. This would be the time to get the youngster in there and play, because what if he were to really hurt that leg?
He came up limping about 3 plays back. I think he'd have a tough time getting out. I think he wants the touchdown. And the pass is incomplete. Cummings, the intended receiver. McMillan had the coverage.
Well, numbers are all well and good, but as you and I saw 2 weeks ago, when Warren Moon was going for his 10th 300-yard game against the Cincinnati Bengals, he had his season end prematurely. So, you know, we're talking about somebody who has, I believe, after this game, a very potential for a pro career.
Oh, I tell you, he is flirting with a first-round draft choice to move up that high after a game like this. He's going to play in about 3 postseason games. And how he does there, of course, will have a lot to do with it. Over the top and brought back as Dawkins went up and Sullins was there to stop him.
Jumped a little too quick. Man's got to know his limitations in that situation. He's 3 yards away. Draw play. This is a terrific call. They got to figure he wants to throw again. Watch where he takes off from. 3.5-yard line. I'm sorry. That's too far away. John Sullins makes the play.
The Louisville players all signal they want to go for it. They want to go for it. They signaled that, and the coaches said, okay, let's go for it. By the way, with all the numbers that Browning-Nagel is rolling up today, just as a footnote, the NCAA does not include bowl stats as far as records are concerned. And now, Louisville takes a timeout. 10:40 left to go in the game. Cardinals lead it 32-7. 157 days until Christmas, but it has come early for this man. He has to be happy with the present that he has today under his tree.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but you want your cake and eat it too. It looks like you don't think this is rubbing it in, going for a touchdown here up by 25 points.
No, I just think it's the kids from Louisville, and they just want to score as much as they can against whoever they're playing. And Alabama stops him. Lipsy stopped by Eric Curry and Ephraim Thomas, and it was Thomas who made the key hit. And Alabama takes over on down. No, I don't think that was rubbing it in. I think it's the first time that they've been to a bowl game in years, the biggest bowl game they've ever been to, and they're having more fun than they've ever had.
And I wonder if that man feels that way. Look at him limping. That should be it for Browning-Nagel today.
I think it is. I think it is. I think he wanted to get one more touchdown, and he'll just settle with a 32-7 lead.
But see, here's the other thought of it, and I don't know if you've thought of this. You know, if they'd have kicked the field goal, that would have made it 35-7, and of course that's a divisor of 7, which is familiar to football fans. They're going to be confused when they see 32.
No, that's OJ's
number. You never thought of that.
No, I didn't, but I just think it's OJ's number.
OJ who?
Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
He's at the Orange Bowl.
Yes, he is.
Now Woodson will go to work. He was almost caught for a safety, and did my eyes deceive me? Was that a kind of a backward underhand incomplete pass to
and he got away with it.
He got away with it.
He got away with it. On the professional level, of course, this is going to be a safety because he's in the grass, or if they called intentional grounding, it's also a safety because they don't mark off the yardage. Watch his backhanded move here. Very clever. Sure enough, he did get it away in time, but definitely wasn't going anywhere. They should have called intentional grounding, but evidently the referee was
But also the kind of
charitable.
Also the kind of mistake that could cost you 6 points too, when you just throw it around there and somebody can pick it up. They're working on Nagel, and Tom Hammond will be giving us a report on that situation. And this pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Passing the intended receiver. And the ball at the Alabama 5 with now 10:21 left to go in the ball game. Louisville blew this open with 25 points in the first quarter. They went up 25-0. Nagel to Ware, Dawkins from 5 yards out. Nagel to AC and a block punt. They really took over the contest in the first period. 3rd down and 10. And now they're going to call intentional grounding. And it will be a safety because it is assessed from the spot of the foul, and Woodson is still down. Now he gets up.
It's okay, Danny. It's not that dramatic. That's tough, though. I realize, you know, he's out here giving it all he's got.
Yes.
As you mentioned, he's only thrown 11 passes all year, and he's doing everything he can. He doesn't want that to happen. He got away with it once, but not twice.
The knee was down. It's a safety in the end zone. And that makes it 34-7. And Alabama will have a free kick at their own 20.
Mel Mills has been doing a good job for the Louisville team in the pass rush. Once again, he was the one there on Woodson forcing the safety.
And now let's scan the near sideline of the Louisville Cardinals to see if Browning-Nagel is going to come back in. Look at this, 25 in the first, and then 7 and 2 for 34. Alabama with their 7 points in the second, and that was Charles Gardner with a 48-yard interception return. So Alabama's offense has not generated any points. Stay with us immediately following our ball game here, the Federal Express Orange Bowl with number 1 Colorado against number 5 Notre Dame, as they'll be battling for the national championship here on NBC.
That would seem to indicate that his day is done. That's appropriate right there. The offensive and defensive captains embracing there. Two great players, two tremendous careers there at Louisville for both Brownie Nagel, having a career day today. And of course, Mark Sander, at this point at least, has tied Doug Buffon's all-time tackle record.
And here is the punt following the safety. At the 40-yard line is Joey Smith to the 50, to the 40, to the 35-yard line of Alabama. 35 yards on the free kick return by Joey Smith. We'll be back. 20th edition of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, and Browning Nagel, limping and all, remains in the ballgame. The ball at the Alabama 35-yard line, a little play action fake, and he overthrows Ken McKay. Let's go down to Tom Hammond. Tom?
Charlie, after that last series, Browning Nagel went to the Louisville bench. They looked at his knee, which he twisted a little bit. I went up behind him and I said, "Are you going to go back in?" And he looked at me and said, quote, "Hell yes, I'm going back in. I'm having the time of my life." And he's back out.
All right, Tom.
Well, I can understand that. You know, the one side of it is to say, hey, preserve yourself for the future, but then again, moments like this don't happen all the time. You want to milk them then.
Enjoy it in the now. If you don't have the now, it never was, and it's never going to be.
Was that
Eric Curry there for Alabama? Not, it's just something I thought of.
You mean Eric Curry said it?
No. He made the play.
Okay.
Third down and 14.
Sounded like
coming up next, the Federal Express Orange Bowl, #1 Colorado, and #5 Notre Dame for the national championship. And the pass is complete over the middle to Pete Bynum. And Bynum will pick up about 5 yards on the play. Derek Odom with the tackle. And as you can see, we've had a ball game here that is running a bit on the long side. It's 3.5 hours old, and we still have just over 9 minutes to go here. And with Louisville comfortably in front, we could well in a few moments be going away to the Orange Bowl to join Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh and O.J. Simpson and Bob Trumpy. Bob Costas is also down there with his crew. And they'll be covering not only the Federal Express Orange Bowl, but also all the happenings that have taken place on Bowl Day today, on Championship Tuesday, and they will keep you updated, of course, on what happens here. The seniors of Louisville, and it has been a struggle, because they started with a program that was at the bottom of the barrel, and they have brought it forward to this point, and they will receive a special senior ring that would give them great reminder of their struggles at Louisville and the high here at the Fiesta Bowl. At their own 34-yard line. Woodson rolls out to his right, points downfield, steps away, and he's going to be brought down at the 32-yard line. So he'll end up losing a couple. As Mike Flory's got him, it'll be 2nd down and 12. And the celebration's already started.
I was going to say that's another sack for Mike Flory's, but here you can see right there a contrast in emotions. On the one side, delirious; on this side, very, very humbled, I'd say.
2nd and 12. Woodson stumbles as he comes back, and he'll overthrow everybody. Dabo Sweeney, the intended receiver, and it'll be 3rd down and 12 at the 32. .801 time remaining. In case you joined us late in the first quarter, Nagel to Ware, a 70-yard touchdown pass. Dawkins rushed in from 5 yards out. Nagel to AC from 37 yards away. McFadden blocked the punt. And Buchanan recovered it in the end zone for the touchdown. That made it 25-0. And this one is intercepted. Here is Hawthorne on the return at the 35-yard line. Lorenzo Cole with the tackle. So Louisville takes over at the Alabama 36-yard line. And this one may have just been up for grabs.
Well, he's trying to go for the corner out here. You're right. He's just throwing it downfield, and it's an easy pick for Derek Hawthorne. Not a bad run back here either. Nice sweet feet. Evades a couple. Puts him in pretty good field position.
Eric Watts is now the quarterback. His first appearance in the ball game. 6'5", 231 pounds. And so the day has officially come to a close for Browning Nagel, who completed 20 of 33. He threw for 451 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and without a doubt, he'll win all of the awards.
And well, he should. You can see he's a little misty-eyed there, and not just from sweat.
Nice young man. We visited with him a couple of times during the week, and he's really a pleasure.
Well, I wouldn't say this is the culmination of anything. Obviously, it's more of a beginning on another level. You know, 6 years ago when Schnellenberger got here, of course, the senior players, as you mentioned, he said that they've been through the bad times. They've been around when things were down, when they were 2-9, and no one cared about them and didn't want to be recognized as football players. First of all, the football team being a joke, and of course their basketball team being so great, taking all that abuse, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why that man right there has a giant chip on his shoulder when it comes to his program.
6.5 minutes to go on the ball game. 3rd down and 6 at the 31. And it's knocked away. Antonio London making the defensive play. And again, a reminder to you that we'll be going away from this ball game before its conclusion with Louisville in complete control by a score of 34-7. We'll be moving on to Miami and the battle for the national championship. And a big bowl day of one-sided scores. It's amazing what has happened throughout the nation.
Is that right?
4th down. This is thrown up and incomplete. And so Alabama will take over on downs with 6:14 time remaining. A flag was dropped back at the 4-yard line, or down at the 4-yard line.
My guess is they're going to call it offensively, because I think George Teague did a good job of coverage, and Pete Kutsu just pushed him off.
So that will wrap up our coverage up here. We'll wrap our coverage here. So stay tuned for the national championship in the Orange Bowl, Colorado and Notre Dame, right after these messages from your local station with the score: Louisville 34, Alabama 7. Happy New Year, everybody, and on to the Orange Bowl.
Championship Tuesday, and now the grand finale. The nation's top-ranked team, the Colorado Buffaloes, champions of the Big 8, are here in Miami for the 2nd year in a row, again with a chance to claim the national championship. A year ago, an emotionally charged Colorado team entered this game having dedicated the season to their fallen quarterback, Sal Anesi, who had succumbed to cancer months earlier. But Colorado's hopes were dashed in a series of miscues, missed scoring opportunities, and a goal line tough Notre Dame defense. The Irish would rocket to 3 touchdowns in the second half to earn Lou Holtz another big game win, and to leave Colorado's Bill McCartney wondering of what might have been. Eric Bieniemy, Colorado. No player has been haunted more by last year's loss. He welcomes the opportunity to redeem.